Hello, everyone, lovely people all around the world. I am Simone,
And I'm Nafis.
and welcome back to I Was Thinking. Yeah, we're still
You
alive,
sound so
guys.
sad.
What?
And
I
welcome
sound
back
sad?
to I Was Thinking. Not sad, but like melancholic.
I'm tired, okay? It's
That makes
been
sense.
rough. It's rough out here. We just talked about this before we started recording.
I know.
But we just wanted to come on here and say hi. We're still around. We're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
All that good stuff. Actually, funny enough, we actually had plans to do like a real episode and talk about a TV show. I don't know if I should say it now or just wait till it drops.
It's a Netflix show.
Yeah, it's a Netflix show, but we're both very busy. So
Yeah.
I had to text her last minute and be like, hey, I'm not done with my notes yet. So why don't we just do a catch-up episode to let our listeners know how we've been since the last episode. Because these come out when they can at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to keep the bi-monthly schedule, but,
It was supposed to be bi-weekly.
bi-weekly?
Yes.
That's what I meant. Bi-weekly,
I was
not
like
bi-monthly.
bi-monthly.
Wait.
fine.
Bi-weekly schedule. That's what I meant.
Well, now it's starting to turn out to be tri-weekly. Is that a word?
It is now. I mean, why not?
Okay. Listen, I say a lot of things where I'm like, is that an actual word or is this something I just made up?
That's how vocabulary comes to be, is like someone makes up a word and then everyone just rolls with it.
That's true. And then it becomes like actual dictionary. That's how a lot of slang words actually become real words.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say it enough and enough people hear it, maybe I can create a word that'll be part of the dictionary and I can be legendary.
And add that to your resume.
Right?
Oh, but on a
No.
lighter note, have you heard J-Hope's new album?
Girl, you're talking to a BTS stand over here. Of course I heard his new album.
What did you think of it?
It's really good. I think I'm just still in the shock because I wasn't expecting him to go this way. Like, I remember when he was announcing his pre-release More, and I didn't know what to expect. I think in my mind, I was still expecting a Hope World Part 2. And then I saw the first teaser pictures and I was like, is J-Hope? Is this still J-Hope? And I was texting Brianna and Precious Little Sister Zaria because I was so shocked. And Zaria was like, yeah, he talked about going into a darker side for a while. I'm like, where the hell have I been? And then she sent me the Weverse articles. I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't read this.
Yeah.
I didn't read all of them. And the ones I did, I skimmed through and we were talking about when they talked about their break. So I can't remember if that came out before or after Festa.
I think all of it came out after, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it after?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she sent me that snippet, I was like, you know what? That makes a lot more sense. Because even with Hope World, I don't think people realize the theme is very colorful, but when you actually take the time and read the lyrics, they're pretty dark. Daydream's one of my favorite songs from that mixtape, but if you actually sit down and read it, you're like, oh wow, this is actually pretty dark. I like stuff like that. So where they're give off happy vibes, when you actually sit there and think about it, you're like, huh. So because I didn't know how to feel about More at first. More has definitely grown on me a lot more. I jam out to that almost every day. So
I loved it. I saw More. I haven't listened to his album yet, but
the album's really good.
When I heard More, I'm like, yes, I love this dark side of him. And for some reason,
he does a very good job.
For some reason, I kind of knew that whatever his next album was going to be would be a little bit darker than what he usually is.
Yeah.
Just because when he was part of the group, right? He was always the bright, the sunshine. Obviously, everybody has a dark side too, so I had a feeling he would kind of let that out sooner.
And I feel like I've said this before, they've even said that bright side's not really the real him.
Yeah.
So I feel like this darker side shows more of the real him, which I really like and appreciate. So
yeah. I always appreciate the dark side more.
Nafis, you're just dark all in general.
Yeah.
We start talking to you, you realize like, oh.
Yeah. Like, remember, like, when we were at the library, and I think it was Suga's song. What was the song? Like, Hope World had come out, and his other one had come out, Suga's other song.
You're not talking about Shadow from Map of the Soul, are you?
I think it was Shadow.
Okay, so you're talking about Ego then. Ego and Shadow when they're promoting.
Like, remember you showed me both of them and you asked me which one I liked more?
Oh, yes. And you're like, I like Shadow more. You know what you remind me of? You remind me of Priya from Turning Red. You are her in real life.
The living, breathing example, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, I enjoy darker concepts more. They're just more relatable, I guess, for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tweeted on our podcast Twitter because I'm really the only one that uses it. I don't have a favorite song right now. I really enjoyed... What songs were they? No, I don't remember. I really enjoyed Stop and Safety Zone and What If. So right now, I think those three might be, but you know, it can always change. That's why, like, when me and Macy play the game, sometimes I don't like doing them on first impressions because sometimes my first impressions on songs always change. At first, I could be like, oh, I don't really like this song. 10 days later, I play it like every 5 minutes. So,
especially when it's like always played around you, it's like, okay, this song's actually not that bad.
Well, I mostly play it. Like if my phone knows like the artists, you know, the algorithm that I listen to more, they're going to play them more because I don't listen to the radio.
Me neither. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've listened to the radio in like a very long time.
And it was funny because like there's that new Jack Harlow song. I think is it called First Class? I know it samples Fergie's song, Glamorous. Like, I went to a dentist appointment, and when I turned off my phone, you know, when I unplug it, the radio comes on. So that was playing. And then I went to my dentist appointment. And then when I got back in the car, literally 2 hours later, I turned on the car, and that song was playing. I'm like, damn, didn't this song just play?
It stopped just for you.
Yeah, apparently. I haven't even heard that full song, so I can't even tell you if I like it or not. I don't really care. No offense.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard that full song. I've just heard like the samples
snippets
of it. Snippets that they use on like TikTok as an audio.
But yes, everyone should go stream Jack in the Box.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes. You'll have to let me know when you actually listen to it. I would like to do an album review, but I don't know if you want to. We don't have to. But just put it in the back of your mind.
If I ever get the chance to like sit down and actually listen to the whole thing, I will let you know.
It's only 22 minutes long. I don't think it'll take you. It's very short. There's 10 songs, but each song is actually not that long.
Oh, okay.
You can do it in 20 minutes.
Alrighty, I shall let you know.
And I really liked his music video for Arson. Gotta watch that too. I was also getting like, I felt like, even though I'm not famous, FOMO, like seeing he had a listening party and was inviting like all these Korean artists. They looked like they were having fun. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah. I'm liking that they decided to venture into solo activities. They seem much more like relaxed now.
Yeah. And all the members were there supporting him, except for Yoongi, but we found out that he was feeling sick. So that's valid. He was afraid he might have caught COVID again. Came out negative, though, thankfully.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
But this morning, as we were recording, I saw online that apparently he showed up and he performed that was Psy at one of those like huge festivals they've been having lately at Korea. So,
good.
Yeah. Like I said, they're all living their best lives, and I just love to see it as a fan. I love to see it. I know plus too when he's interviewed a lot of other like K-pop artists that I listen to. So that's another reason how it was easier to always see him popping up.
Right. I always liked seeing a lot of the interactions I saw on TikTok too were him and is it Amber Rose? I think that's her name.
It's just Amber. It's not Amber Rose. Is someone completely different.
Where did I get that from? Just Amber?
Her name is Amber. Amber Rose is someone completely different. Amber Rose is, you know what? I don't even know what she does, but that's a black woman who used to date Kanye. and has a child with Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, well, I don't know where that came from. But
I don't know either. You're
apparently.
talking about Amber from FX.
Yeah. But, like, my favorite meme of him is they're, like, I don't know what they're doing. They're eating, like, watermelon. And she's, like, telling
that's
her
a really
dog,
popular video, I think, that went viral.
It's like, your dog speaks Chinese?
Yes, that one. And he brings that up a lot, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that clip, too.
He's effortlessly funny. And I love that in a person. So it's very charismatic. And when we saw him in person, he was just as funny and charismatic. So it's real. He's not edited to seem funnier.
Oh my God. I don't think you could fake that. He's also funny in like a dorky way, but he like embraces the dorkiness.
Mm-hmm.
So
I appeal to that because I feel like I'm an awkward type of funny. I'm not traditionally funny. So
we can relate to that on a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get into some facts before we horribly guess each other's favorite songs by Eric Nam, shall we? So, to begin, at this point, we're not really playing for anything. It's just all fun because we don't live near each other anymore to like do prizes. And there was a certain point where we still were. Yeah, it's just bragging rights because when we were both broke at the time, so we kind of had to stop that too.
Still broke. What you're talking about?
Girl, September 1st came. Happy late birthday, Jungkook. And I was like, damn, I gotta pay my bills again? You want rent again? I just paid you last month.
Right? It just keeps occurring. What the heck?
Happy late or early birthday, Namjoon, because it's on the 12th and I don't know when this episode is going to come out. And shameless plug, stream Sexy Noon Kim with him and Bombing Tiger for clear skin and feeling sexy. Okay, let's get on to the game, shall we? Sorry. I have to support my bias, okay? Good game?
I guess, yeah. I'm not really surprised by your choices. I just wasn't sure what to pick. Like, nothing was like, Black Swan's her favorite BTS song moment,
I still don't understand why that shocks you. Okay. Please tell me why you're so shocked about that.
I don't know. It's shocking to me when Fire and UGG and the Cyphers exist. Like,
okay, no, that's your fault. You should have at least known with the Cypher.
Just saying.
And we did album by album. We didn't even list like which ciphers out of the 4. So
just saying.
I guess
it's a great song.
I still need someone from Hybe to put the orchestra version on streaming, please and thank you. Mm-hmm. It's been 2 years.
Right.
How many more times do I have to beg?
Okay, well, anyway, not to end on a BTS note, but I love Eric Nam. I think he's super funny and talented, and you guys should go listen to him if you don't already.
Yes. And look out for his movie Transplant. I don't know what like how big of a role he has in that, but I mean, just to see him pop up is going to be awesome. And like a psychological thriller that's going to take some acting. It's not like a thing he can get away with like comedy or something. So, which I'm sure he can pull off. Yeah. I also forgot to mention him and his brothers. I think it's airing in Korea are doing like a little variety thing of them being in Korea. But I don't know what the name of it is. I just remember sometimes seeing clips of it.
Right.
So there's also that. But it's hard for me to really find a place to watch like Korean variety shows. Like it's easy for me to find places for dramas, not variety. So yeah. But Eric's great. If you ever get a chance to see him like in concert, it's amazing. I still won't forget also because we met Brianna, who has been on the show before, and her sister was there, and they had a ginormous sign. I think I posted it on our Instagram where did it say Big Titty Committee?
Yeah.
And it's so, yeah, you guys need to go on our Instagram if you don't already follow us there, because I actually got it on tape where like you can see he's trying to avoid the sign because they're right front and center and dead. And he's like, and he's like, I cannot read these signs out loud, guys. You're going to get me in trouble. Mm-hmm. And it was just funny.
I mean, he started it.
Did he start it?
Well, no, BM did, but
But I think they started it off of K-pop Daebak because BM was one of his very first guests on there, and he says it all the time. But
I'm just saying, he encourages it.
He encourages it, and he's part of it too. Come on now, give yourself some credit, Eric.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. So if you guys want to see that clip and just other clips from the concert back in March, they're on our Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure.
And look up Wildfire Live so you can experience that with us.
I don't remember if I posted that or not. Did I post that? It's been so long.
I'm sure it's out there. You could Google it, or YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I'm sure I also embarrassed myself when we met him for the 2 seconds to get our picture. You didn't really talk.
I didn't really talk. I think I said something about the show being great, but I got really nervous.
It's fine. I mean, because that's why I'm not the person where I really don't care to meet celebrities, because what do I say to them? It's like when I talk to a normal person, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just as awkward. So, and I don't know how some of them are.
Because we're still in the age of obviously we had to wear masks. So I was trying to give him thumbs up, and because I can't smile, I'm just staring at him.
Yeah.
So. But
I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned it a long time ago when we talked about concerts we went to, but I do remember I mentioned it was sweet because before COVID, they kind of did the same group setting where it's just a bunch of 5 people take pictures with him, and I went by myself, so I didn't have anyone to take pictures with, so they ended up grouping me with only 2 other girls instead of the 5. Thankfully, I didn't post that picture because I didn't know these people, so but there was a point where I was kind of standing off, and he was kind of come closer, it's okay, we don't bite. So he made sure I was in the picture, which I appreciated. Yeah. So being my shy self. But yeah.
Very nice human.
Yes. And I wish him all the success. And I hope he blows up a little bit more in America, because we know how it is, especially with artists. Because, we don't really, besides K-pop, especially in America, we really don't have a lot of, pop artists that are, Asian.
No.
If you think about it, on, a mainstream type sense. So, yeah. I hope he garnishes more fans over here.
We do.
Maybe the movie will help a little bit.
Yeah.
And, how hopefully they don't just associate him with, K-pop. So,
hi, and welcome back to I Was Thinking. I'm Nafis.
I'm an alien superstar. You don't get that reference, do you?
I don't. Where's that from?
Get cultured! That is a song for Beyonce's album Renaissance. Unique. Yeah, all that good stuff. I was listening to it before we started, so that's why. One of my favorite songs off that album. I'm Simone.
I haven't heard Beyonce in such a long time, though.
The Beehive might come for me if I say this. You know what? I'm just gonna say it's fine. It's not like I'm not a big Beyonce fan. It's just that I feel like she is an artist that you need to listen to her albums, and I'm more of a singles girl. So that's why, especially early Beyonce albums, unless it's really popular ones. Songs you hear on the radio, I know, but yeah. But as I've gotten older and listened to more albums, I've taken the time to listen to her new one, and it's really good. So
awesome. Yeah, I don't listen to albums either. Whatever's on the radio, that's what I know.
I mean, I don't even listen to the radio anymore.
Really?
No, I feel like we've talked about this.
Yeah, we probably have. I turned on the radio after a really long time, last week. Only because my phone was dead and I could not use Spotify. So, yeah, I'm a heavy Spotify user these days.
Well, I use Apple Music. But anyway, we're not here to talk about music. Nafis, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
It's one of my favorite, webtoons and I feel shows. I'd probably put it up there as my new top 10.
A 10 out of 10?
No, my new top 10.
Oh, your new top 10.
As top 10 shows.
Gotcha.
That I really enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the other reasons, though, why I gave this one a shot was because of the main lead. Kim Go-eun, she's done Goblin. I loved Goblin. And
I
then
started watching that and I never finished.
Really?
Oh God, did I even finish the first episode of that? I think that was around the time I was trying to find stuff, but like I wasn't really interested in anything. Maybe I'll go back and try to rewatch it.
no, I loved her in Goblin. Like I loved Goblin. That story was just so epic. And then I saw her in, it was the other one you recommended me, Cheese in the Trap, I believe it's called. Loved her in that too.
She's in that?
Yeah,
Who does she play?
she's the main lead.
Oh my God, is she really?
Yeah.
It's been so long since I watched She's in the Trap, Nafis. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe because her hair color was different. I
Yeah,
didn't
it was
recognize.
like red or something. Reddish,
Okay.
yeah.
Ooh, because that was around the time I was still new to web drama, so I recognized one of the characters from weightlifting. That weightlifting show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the full name.
Very, I don't know the full name.
Because the main girl in that show is also in that, so I was more focused on her.
Yes. Yeah, she was second lead in that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I'll definitely need to go back and rewatch it. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in a new show as well. The girl who plays Yumi, that's starting to come out on Netflix. There's a show
it's called
Little Woman.
Little Woman, yeah.
No idea what that's about.
Me neither, but I'm interested. I'm going to wait until all the episodes come out to watch it. So
Of course you are.
I can't.
I heard Netflix might get rid of binging.
Really?
They might go into. I've been hearing rumors because they want to start adding ads because they've been losing tons of money. So they might start going into once a week. Although they've been doing that for Korean dramas anyway. They've been doing 2 episodes a week. But other shows, they might stop dropping full seasons. I've been hearing the rumor mill going around. So we'll see.
Well, whatever the case, I'm going to wait until they all come out.
Okay.
Yeah, because that would be crazy if they just got rid of it as it dropped. Like, that's weird.
You know what's funny? I saw a tweet. I wish I remembered the username, but like they were talking about basically like how all these companies are doing mergers now. They're all going to become one big company called Cable. Things you see how things go back.
History repeats itself, I see.
History repeats itself. There we go. I couldn't think of it.
Oh my goodness. You know, like, I was thinking about it because I was having this conversation with a coworker the other day, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm keeping up with this show and this show, and they're on like 3 different subscription sites, and I'm like, you might as well just pay for cable and like, get it all at once. But you also have like the flexibility to go to pick whatever you want to watch instead of like going by a certain timing. But I don't know.
Yeah. It's different in cable because you don't have to be on a time slot. And like, if you miss it, you miss it. Like you said, you can just pick shows and watch them whenever. But at the same time, there's just so many. We're getting like overwhelmed with like so much content.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, like,
prices for everything is going up. Like, I got a notification for my Hulu. It's going up like $1.99. So is my Apple Music. And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm still in shock, though. Not relevant to our topic whatsoever. But, like, Netflix for 2 people is $15? What? That is so crazy to me. Like, for 2 accounts. So crazy.
It's getting bad out here.
It was at that price for like their highest resolution like package. Their new package is like $21. Like, what?
I never knew how Netflix did it as far as their different pricing ranges, because I know with Hulu they're different because it's like, oh, you can be a bundle with like Disney Plus and ESPN, or like you can pay this price, but you have to watch ads, or this price without the ads. So that understood, but not with like Netflix, or I don't know what other streaming sites don't use ads.
They did it by person.
Okay.
So I think the cheapest one that Netflix has is like 1 person, and it's like the worst video quality, or like standard as they call it.
Now you saying the worst video quality.
It is. It's grainy. It's ugly. It's not worth it.
Back in the day, that used to be the best video quality.
I know. That's so crazy. And then their middle one, their second tier one, is 2 people, and then you get HD. And then their most expensive one is like about up to 4 people, and then you can have like HD and like Ultra HD or something like that.
Or like 4K?
Yeah,
is that added into it?
Think
this new 4K thing now?
So that's how they're rolling. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's interesting. Let's get back to Yumi cells though, because we got way off topic. It's still relevant in like the TV world aspect, but
Yeah.
and then when they went to the coffee shop, he got hit in the face with the door.
Yeah. But her reaction, though, to the dad joke was just like, what? What? How do I respond to this? So it was interesting.
What was the first dad joke that he said? Do you remember?
It was something about,
Was it the clock one, or did he say
I thought it
something
was
else?
the time one. I think so.
Was it
yeah.
the time one?
But it was just interesting because, like, that is, you can tell is not her type of humor. So it was just like, okay, haha, keep face type thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say the joke or not, because like, again, I haven't practiced my Korean in a while, so I don't know if I'll say it properly.
Do you have the English translation of it?
I don't think it'll make as much sense in English.
Yeah, you're right. But essentially, it's just a pun about time.
Yeah, she's asking what time it is. When is it?
I don't remember the joke, but I just thought it was funny.
I'm not gonna do it.
But yeah.
And he says Solshi, which sounds like something else, I think.
Oh, it's Seoul time.
It's the city of Seoul, and I don't remember what else is supposed to sound like.
I actually didn't understand the joke, but I just understood it was supposed to be a dad joke, which made it funny. So
if you watch it on Viki, they say the joke in parentheses translated. I just don't remember what it's supposed to sound like.
I do not remember either.
Well, the English translation in the webcomic, the joke that he asks is, why couldn't the bike stand on its own?
That's what that was? That is not the vibe I got.
Well, I'm asking you. That's what it is, but the feast, why couldn't the bike stand on its own?
I don't know.
Because it was too tired.
Are
you okay? I don't understand why you find this funny. You're dying over there.
It's funny. I'm going to use that now.
Oh, God, please don't.
I love dad jokes. They are so hilarious.
I had a discussion with Nafis before we started recording. And before we actually talk about the show, I want to bring up something. Might be a little bit controversial. I mean, it shouldn't be, but you know how people are. Yeah, I said I was going to do a better job at just like talking about stuff that makes me uncomfortable. Will me bringing this up change anything? Probably not, but it doesn't hurt to bring it up.
Yeah. Bring
awareness. Hopefully it makes some type of change or makes like our listeners think. And if they see something like this as well, get the discussion rolling so change could happen. But as we know, in the history of television, movies, everything around the world, you need sponsorships to make shows go through. So especially in like Korean shows, so obvious, not obvious. Nafisa said she didn't notice about product placements, of companies.
Just that particular one.
Just that particular one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Subway, they make it very obvious and then,
Yeah, like she said, product placement of like things that sponsor the show, like Subway, I think Chevrolet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that car company correct. Is that how you pronounce it?
I thought it was Chevrolet or something like that. I don't know.
Sure. Things like that.
I never had to say that word out loud.
I never have either. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. The car company with the little, like, T.
It's also known as a Chevy, right?
Yes,
yeah.
A Chevy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So just product placements like that, sometimes in like songs, you'll hear them shout out like Coca-Cola, Sprite. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So there is a particular coffee shop that is a real coffee shop in South Korea that they go to frequently. It's shown in season 1, but not as much as season 2. Like they show it all the time in season 2. They're always at that coffee shop. So the name of it is called, and I don't think I'm going to pronounce this name correctly, Mauritius Brown.
Mauritius.
Is that how you pronounce it?
It's based off the country, right? Named after the country?
Yes.
Mauritius, yeah.
Okay, so you're aware of the country, because I had to do some research before I called you, because I didn't know anything about this, even with the controversy that comes up. So it's named after the island of the same name, which is in the Indian Ocean off the east coast of Africa. And I actually looked up the map to see where it is. So it's a little bit closer to Madagascar. I would say it's off like the southeast coast of Madagascar. So they still count it in the realm of the continent of Africa. So they named it that coffee shop because I guess they use a brown sugar from it, like the brown sugar cane. I don't know, in their coffee or like they just, I don't know how that works. I'm sure they sell it there, but that's not the issue. My main issue with this like coffee shop is that great. That's great. But why is your logo of a black woman and there's no one from that island or like even of black descent that is a part of this company? It's just, and people who aren't like black are just gonna listen to this like, why does it matter? It does, because it kind of comes off as like not characterish. What's the word? There's a specific word for it. Yeah, like caricature, like how they did back then, menstrual, things like that, where they would use aesthetics of different culture and no one of that culture is behind the actual product or creation, things of like that. Because it's like they give her an afro and then I don't know if you didn't even notice the logo, but like if you look closer too, she's wearing a bandana and the colors are red, yellow, and green.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What do the colors represent?
Well, apparently it's supposed to represent Africa, but I'm sure just like most people keep forgetting Africa as a continent and not a country. So there's different countries in Africa that have their own different colors. I know a lot of them are red, yellow, and green, but not all of them are. So that's just another thing where it's like, again, guys, it's hard for me to explain this type, but again, it's just don't feel it's necessary. Like they could have easily maybe found what the sugarcane looks like and made like a logo based off that. I just don't see the point of it.
So the logo itself bothered you?
Yeah.
I can see why. Especially since there's nobody, like I think in the article it was saying there was like no person related to that island and things like that. It kind of reminded me of that one show, Shooting Stars, where have you seen that one? No?
I didn't see it. I know of it, but I didn't watch it. Like I've seen it when I scroll through Viki, but
the main lead goes to Africa for like a year, and then I think that bit was controversial too, just because of like the appropriation and everything. But yeah, so it's seen everywhere.
I mean, yeah. Hey guys, I'm coming in real quick. So when I was going through and listening to this and editing, I just realized it's not even the logo I have a problem with. It's also the name, because it's called Mauritius Brown, but the country is just called Mauritius. So did they have to add the brown at the end? Again, I know it's from a brown sugar cane, but still it bothers me because this is from a pretty sure predominantly black island. We're all brown. You're gonna add the word brown after the country with mostly black people. You see what I'm trying to go here? They could have named it anything else. It could have just been Mauritius, or so people don't get it confused with the country when you look it up online. Mauritius Coffee Shop, Mauritius Cafe. There's just so many other things they could have done. Just like with the logo. Did not have to be a black woman, especially with an afro. Could have been of the sugar cane. It could have been 1,000 other things. I don't know. It's just, yeah. So it's not just the logo. It's also the name. And maybe they thought they were being clever or like there's no harm in it, especially since they are in a country that is predominantly Korean. But this is what I kind of mean, where like, especially with their entertainment, they're trying to be more global and exposure. And I feel like with that, you just need to be careful of what you're putting out to the other world, because that's how they're going to perceive your country. And honestly, I blame America a lot, especially how they view Black people. I know Black Americans and Africans are different. Trust me, we got our own different cultures, but still, they're just going to lump us in as all Black people. So yes, I do blame America for a lot of it. Even now, I'm not going to get into it. That's not what this episode is about, but I just wanted to come in real quick to point that out. Especially if people are listening to this, is like, Simone, why don't you talk about this more since you're a fan of K-pop? I'm like, I do. I don't talk about it on the show, but I do talk about it at least with like Nafis and Brianna off of this. And even then, like our first episode of how we got into K-pop, we did talk about this.
Yeah.
But it's like what I'm saying is like, I wanted to open the conversation, but at the same time, I'm one person. So it's not like me saying this is going to make a huge change. Like it already took back in 2020 for like some of these companies here in America to change stuff like Aunt Jemima and like all these other character like brands of that same nature.
Yeah.
So we just have a long way to go, basically.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And like companies especially won't care unless they're losing money.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much how it works in the corporate world, corporate America.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't know. I feel like they could have just used, and it's not even really a good depiction of a Black person, because if you look at the face, the way they draw her face still kind of has like European features. I don't even know if I would have been more mad if like they really took like if they really made her like a Black woman, or if like it's the logo that it is, you know, because when I see it, like when they were showing it on the cups, or like when they showed the workers there, we're all like Korean and it's on like their hats that they're wearing or like their aprons. I keep rolling my eyes, but it's just like, you know, just because someone doesn't find a certain thing, like they see a problem with it or make them uncomfortable, doesn't mean that, you know, it's not a problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just wish more people cared. You know, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get too much into it because that's not what this show or this episode is about. That's a topic for another day, but I just thought I should at least bring it up. I'm going to link an article once we're done that talks about it more and in better, you know, light than I am doing right now. Because like I said, guys, I'm not used to it, but I said I was going to try to do a better job at least bringing this stuff up. So if you care, please take a read.
Yeah. Were there any other controversials with the show, or just that? I
mean, me personally, it's just that. I don't know if there's anything else from like cultures I'm unaware of that they do. I don't think so. But then again, if I'm not in that culture, I wouldn't know. So.
Gotcha.
Let us know, guys.
Yeah.
Because it's important to talk about. There's a difference between appropriation and appreciation. And I think people are starting to get that confused.
Yeah.
So again, I could go on about this because I have plenty more to say, but let's dive into like the actual show.
Gotcha.
Because that's what we're here for. So, but of course, if we keep doing like other shows, I'll bring it up. And especially for people who are like, well, if you don't like it, Simone, stop watching this content. It's not like I can get away from this. This is a global issue. Yeah. Okay? Any type of media that I consume, it's going to be like this. Let me move on because... Yes, it's just a global thing, guys. Anti-Blackness is a global issue that is going to take a very long time to solve. So let's get into the show, shall we? Is it in this episode or is it in the next episode? It's in this episode. You know, like how the cells were like playing a little like dramatic of like a scenario that was going on. So like Sensitivity was pretending to be the father.
And their ability to create stories is so funny.
It's so funny because I definitely would have been like Cheapskate, where like Sensitivity hands over like the envelope, like that's how much I will pay you to stay away from my son. And she looks at the envelope and the director's like, that's not how it's supposed to work. You are supposed to rip it up. Right. And then when they restart the scene, she's like, my love for Bobby Strong's like, but you didn't check the envelope. And she tries to open it again. Like, how much money's in there? A whole scene got me dying because honestly, I might have done the same thing and have been like ripped it up. You're like, no, it's not worth it. maybe, you know what? I'm gonna just keep this on the side.
Right.
Hey, you
Could be
gotta
of use later.
listen. We ain't got time to go over it. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah, because that's a pretty big thing. But at the same time, though, like I was saying, it's completely normal for that to happen. I mean, that didn't affect his relationship with her. He treated her just the same. He had no intentions of breaking up with her. He had no intentions of pursuing the intern. So it's like, I think she kind of overreacted, from my opinion.
I don't really know how I feel about it because I don't know.
And the bigger thing is though, like he did something about it. Like he actually was going to move. That I don't know was the best move. I don't know if that was the best move. No pun intended. But
well, I think oh my god. I think that also started because like we said, they were neighbors. So like, and she was obviously still living with her parents. So her parents, I think, they sent him some like oranges
yeah,
thanking him for like being nice to her. And that's kind of initiated the move,
Yeah.
really, if we're being honest. So, because it would have been awkward to still like living next door to her parents. And there's a chance that like if she comes visits him and all, or visits them, he runs into her.
Yeah.
So,
But he was doing something about it.
I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on that.
I think
because it could have affected them later on.
Okay. When I mean that she overreacted, I mean like she was like gone that same night. She should have waited the night. She should have waited the night. Because like he brings this up later when he was having like his thoughts, like if he had reacted. No, he says like I wish Yumi had trusted me the way I trusted her when she went to give back that picture to Ung.
Yeah, but like, because I also wrote that on my notes. I guess I'll talk about it now. I feel like that was different because he already knew Yumi didn't have lingering feelings for Woong. Like, she wasn't swayed in any way. I feel like he did.
I felt he was nervous about that, but he was like, "Let me trust her and see what happens from there." That's the vibe I got.
I don't know. I have no way to like debate this either because I truly don't know how I feel about it in either situation. So it is like a trust thing, but at the same time, I feel like, you know what? I just don't know.
Yeah. So actually, this was a point of controversy too, amongst like the people on like Reddit and stuff. Like, does his behavior count as cheating? Him like being swayed by somebody else? I wouldn't think so, but there is such thing as emotional cheating. So like, in that sense, probably.
Well, remember when we did our movie review for What If? We talked about that.
Yeah.
Emotional cheating. Because, like, what leads to the physical cheating a lot is the emotional cheating, whether it's the dead emotions you have of your current partner or the new emotions you develop for the person you're eventually going to, cheat with. So I feel like cheating does not happen unless there is some type of emotion there. The emotion, to me, emotions always comes first when it comes to cheating. That's why I was like, we don't know if like later on, he's not that type of person, but if it did affect like the relationship, like I don't think he would ever cheated on Yumi, but he might have like started treating her different as far as like not being as attentive as far as like their romance.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because now that we talk about this.
Okay, from how I understood, yeah, like from what I understood and how they portrayed it, it never seemed like Yumi was never in the number one spot. Like she was always there, regardless of the intern or not. Like the intern was just an addition, but like I don't think he's wrong to be swayed, but the way he dealt with it and the way he dealt with it was wrong. Like moving away was not going to change that. Just because you were moving away from her doesn't mean it's not going to happen again, you know? But
exactly.
But like I wish she had waited like at least tonight and like calmed down and actually thought about it because they could have recovered from it. Especially if it was a pattern and she noticed it too and brought it up to him.
Yeah. I feel like the way she is, she did need to get away. I don't know if it would have been smart, like not go back to Seoul, but maybe get a hotel. I don't think she could have stand in that moment being with Bobby, even if she had calmed down. So I don't blame her for leaving. But I don't know if, like you're saying, maybe if she like went to a hotel then came back. I just know she wanted to get away. And some people are like that. Like, I just need to be, because like how we express, she's introverted. So I feel like a lot of introverts, like when things like that happen, I can talk from experience. Sometimes like I need to be by myself to collect and think before I try to talk to that person and be less emotional. So that way, when we start talking, we can be more rational about it than emotional about it, you know?
That's what I meant.
That's why her sensitivity needs to be locked away with her inner feelings.
No, that's what I meant. Like, she just needed space from him, but not necessarily like go back home.
And like, we also don't know if she was, like we were saying, patterns, if she just thought this was going to be another Woong and Sei thing where she just needs to go ahead and leave this time instead of trying to stay with it.
No, I think she noticed the pattern because she wouldn't have asked him, when did you start liking me, if she didn't notice it, you know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Back to Lino. He was a backup dancer for BTS. A lot of people knew him for that before he was in Stray Kids. He was born in Gimpo, South Korea. I apologize in advance for all the places I butcher because I did write where all of them were born. So he says if he wasn't in Stray Kids, he would be a dancer. And then I have he's kind of known for having RBF, but he's really sweet and takes care of his other members.
That's how usually people with RBF is, so it's fine. I know from experience.
And then, of course, he helps with the choreography, and his favorite genre of dance is hip-hop. Our next member is Changbin, and his Korean name is So Changbin. He is a rapper, vocalist, and producer. He was born August 11, 1999, and his representative animal is a pabbit, so pig plus rabbit.
Is a what?
A pig plus rabbit.
Is that a real thing?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why he couldn't just be a pig, because Lino's the rabbit.
Why couldn't he be a wombat?
Listen, I have another beef with another member's animal, and I'll get to that.
Okay, because like you said rabbit, I'm like, a wombat exists.
Yeah.
The Australian member should have helped him with that.
Listen.
Okay.
We'll get there. And our next member is Hyungjin. His Korean name is Hwang Hyungjin. He is a dancer, rapper, vocalist in the visual. His unit is Dance Racha. And his representative animal is a ferret, which Hyungjin repeatedly breaks the internet with how good looking he is. But we give him a ferret.
Are you calling ferrets ugly?
No, but
you sure?
It's like a hairy, like, hamster noodle. They're cute, but it's just like if you stretched out a hamster.
Oh my god. I heard ferrets are also really hard to like keep clean as well, aren't they?
And he's like OCD about cleaning. That's like one of his facts. I'm like, his animal doesn't make sense.
That's like a opposite.
Yeah.
Why a ferret? Who gave him a ferret?
I don't know. And then we're going to move on to Han. His Korean name is Hong Ji-sung. He is rapper, vocalist, producer. His birthday is September 14th, 2000.
Oh, and happy late birthday.
Right? And his representative animal is a quokka, which is a Australian marsupial, and he is not one of the Australian members.
I don't know what that is. I don't remember seeing that.
It's a little bear-like wallaby. They're really cute, and I can.
I'm trying to remember if I saw that at a zoo when I was in Australia like a long time ago.
When I first read that, I'm like, is that a bird? And I had to look it up, 1, to know how to say it, and 2, to figure out what it was. And it's a tiny little bear, like Quokka.
Oh, this animal. Okay,
very
yes,
cute.
yes.
And
It
I
is
agree
cute.
with the fact that if you look up a picture of him eating, he stuffs his cheeks full and he looks like one of these animals. However, I'm a little salty that they have 2 Australian members in this one group and they didn't give an Australian animal to either
To
of them.
either. Wow.
And Bang Chan, who is very athletic, the members call him by a nickname of Kangaroo. So, like, why
I
the
was
heck?
just gonna bring up a kangaroo.
Why
I'm
the
like,
heck
why?
is his animal a kangaroo? I'm mad. I don't need to be mad. But
I
it's
can
also,
tell every time you bring up these animals, the last 2, you've been a little salty about them.
And then he was given the nickname Squirrel by his other members. So why the heck isn't he a squirrel? Because he's constantly shoving food in his cheeks and he like puffs out like a little squirrel hiding nuts for winter. So like,
What kind of family is a quokka a part of?
it's a marsupial.
Oh, so it's part of like the wallaby family.
Yes, it is a form of wallaby.
And the size of a domestic cat.
Yeah, I watched a very cute video of a baby quokka in its mother's little pouch. It was super cute. I just don't understand. I do on some level because he does look like one, but just missed opportunity.
I get it, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to Felix.
Felix with the deep ass voice that does
Right.
not match his body. People like that always not freak me out, but like, you know how your eyes get big? That's how I feel sometimes. Like when I hear certain people talk, I'm like, oh, I was not expecting that voice to come out
it
of you.
doesn't match up. And he's also got like 3 different modes of talking. He's got his like super deep rap voice. He's got like a middle ground that's pretty deep still, just like normal talking. And then he's got this like super, super high pitched, like can go into like the, you know, when they do the Aegyo, he can go like way high, and just like the vocal range there is just kind of crazy.
We love a person with a range.
Yeah, like his normal talking voice is rather deep, but he can go even deeper for those like rap.
Oh yeah, we
lines.
know. If you've ever heard a Stray Kids song, you know which one is Felix.
So his name is Felix Lee. However, his Korean name is Lee Youngbok, which you will hear the other members call him that. And his positions are dancer, rapper, vocalist, and he is in the unit Dance Racha. He is considered one of their main dancers and will help with choreography. He was born September 15th, 2000. And his
happy late birthday. I'm just saying all this because we've
they
passed
have
September.
a lot of members that were born in September.
I was going to say, a lot of September babies, a lot of Virgos.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of energy there.
A lot of Earth energy, which I don't know.
I don't mind Virgos.
They're chill. They're chill.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like out of all the Earth signs, they're the ones that kind of like, they'll tell you how it is, sometimes unapologetically. You know, they're very straightforward is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Which sometimes can come off as like for some people, but like I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And I should know this because I live with a Virgo man. So
right.
My father, happy late birthday, Dad, because your birthday was also on September 17th.
Damn.
Again, a lot of September babies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so are we gonna go ahead and get into the game because we have quite a few?
Again, before we start this, I need our point system because I'm a loser and I don't have it written down.
Okay, so we are going to do how many albums?
6.
6 albums of Stray Kids. And we're like always, if we do album by album, I feel like I like to try to do like chronologically, like from beginning to like where they are now. I feel like it makes it easier. You can see like the changes of the group's like music and all that. So so that means we're gonna do top 5.
We've always done that pretty much.
Yeah. And that's just my thing of like, I don't know why I'm like that. So anyway, we're doing top 5. So with that, if the song is on the list, it's 10 points. In the right order is 20 points. And then the only thing that's different is number 1 instead of 50 points, like the top 10, it is 30 points since we do more albums. And then you get automatically 100 points if you get them in the right order from 5 to 1, which again, guys, ain't gonna happen. We were close with, I think, only BTS.
Yeah, that was I almost got it with your RM mixtape.
Yes, with Mono, and I almost got yours with
GOT7,
The Most Beautiful Moment in Life.
And you got close on a GOT7 one as well, but I think that was the one that was reversed.
That was reversed, so like that didn't. If I had
Didn't
reversed,
count.
you know what? I'm so mad at myself for that. Literally, I could have took it and turned it 180 degrees, and it would have been all right. Tragic. I really did not think I would know your Stray Kids taste.
Mm-hmm.
I was very nervous.
Right? You should be proud of yourself. You know, my BTS taste, you did pretty good on the GOT7, I think. Like, I think I still won,
I don't
you
think
knew
so.
some of my number ones.
I think I did pretty horrible. No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. GOT7 is the only one I didn't get any of your number ones. I keep telling you this. I think you need to go re-listen.
Never mind. I was trying to be positive. Never mind.
Okay, you are. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But you got my BTS taste and my Stray Kids taste, which are like the two groups that I'm focusing on right now. So that's good.
Hi, and welcome back. What?
Sounds about right.
Okay. Hi, and welcome back to I Was Thinking. I am Nafis.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I found that so funny. Do you want me to cut that out? I'm crying.
We can start over if you want.
That was kind of funny, though. That's up to you. I kind of want to keep that in.
All right, we can keep it in.
Okay. Did you say your name?
I did.
Okay. I'm Simone, and I'm currently dying.
I'm Macy.
And welcome back to I Was Thinking. Yay!
We're a hot mess.
Exactly. And you want to know what's even better? This is our 2-year anniversary of being hot messes. Woo!
You'd think we'd get better at it a little bit eventually.
Why am I the only one that sounds excited?
I'm more in awe, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Of what? That we're still doing this?
Yeah.
I know. It really is shocking that we are still doing this.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering like how busy we've all been too. So
Exactly. And we don't get paid for this.
exactly, yes.
But I've been enjoying it still. I know, like Nafis said, we don't do this consistently. But we still have listeners. So thank you guys for sticking with us, whether you've been here from the beginning or you jump in or you only listen to certain episodes. Thank you for giving us a chance.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. And that's why we still do it. I'll say our stats in a minute, but how is everyone else feeling? How are you feeling, Macy? So, I mean, since Brianna is not here, I guess I can skip over the whole segment I had with mess and K-pop. I guess we'll just have to do a whole other thing in that. Even though we don't really talk about
I think you
it.
could dedicate a whole episode to that.
Yeah.
But
And I usually try to stay away, but it's been interesting. I was telling Macy before we recorded, I kind of wish we did our One Us episode earlier. We still gonna do it, and I'll talk about the mess that happened. So look out for that. It's just a reminder, guys, we don't know these celebrities. Just keep that in mind. I already talked about the crush situation in the Stray Kids episode, so I don't feel like rehashing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I know it's been talked to death, but I'll just say real quick, I am just, as always, even though I'm not really religious, praying for BTS's physical and mental health. And that's it. I'm not getting to anything else. I've said this multiple times on different scenarios. As a non-Korean, someone who doesn't live in South Korea and who does not pay any type of Korean taxes, I do not feel comfortable talking about any type of politics, which I've been seeing online lately, I know this episode's going to come out later, is kind of bad because there was a huge protest about their current president. I saw in Seoul the other day, like 1 million people, literally 1 million people showed
Really?
up. So yes,
Wow.
girl. But yeah, because it's not like it's all sunshine and rainbows over here in the US that we live in a complete utopia. So who am I to talk about it? I've just been seeing some interesting things on both sides about it. I don't feel comfortable about getting any type of opinion. I just pray for their mental and physical health. And that's it. And I will see them in 2025, maybe 2026. Y'all, I will be 28, 29 around that time. I like how we all got really quiet.
I'm getting older.
I know. Like
Ew.
on some Twitter, I've been seeing people be like, "Oh, I'll be 21. I'll be 18," and I'm just like, "Shut up, shut up."
I'll be in my 30s.
On the feast, you're also turning 30 soon. How do you feel?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like for that next decade, I'm just going to focus on being more like happy and less stressed. Because like that's what I did for my 20s. Like I was just stressed about everything. I'm going to try to not do that as much.
That's real. I get that. I'm actually trying to do that now. So it's a little bit hard. Yeah. And like sometimes you're like, you see the state of the world and you're just like, hide.
Right.
Which you can't always do, but.
Yeah, but definitely the sooner you start that, the better.
You guys have anything you wanted to say about them going to the military?
I'm glad they made the decision for themselves instead of waiting. And because at the end of the day, it is a requirement that the men in South Korea have to do. So at least no one can tell them that they didn't serve their country and things like that, you know?
Or was trying to get special privileges.
Yeah, exactly. So good on them for making that decision.
Anything, Macy? Because I know you haven't really said anything about it since we brought it up, so...
Because I don't feel like I have the right to speak on it.
Right, of course.
And I think that the culture over there is very different, and it's an honorable thing to do. And if they want to do it, then who am I to
say? They want to. They have no choice, basically.
Well, yeah. But over there, it's considered an honor. Like, oh yeah, you go to the military to become a man or whatever. Like it's just a different. I feel like they view it differently. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are like, oh, this fucking sucks. I don't want to do this. But and like you said about the special treatment thing, I feel like the backlash of their own country would be worse
if they didn't go.
If they didn't go and like their stupid fans that are across the water like tweeting about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I don't think they should care about our opinions. They should just care about what they want to do, and if that's something that they want to make the choice instead of waiting, then that's perfect. I don't have an issue with that. And I find it weird that people do have an issue with it. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. And honestly, the people that do have an issue with it, I feel like should be Koreans because, again, that's something they have to deal with. So, like, all the opinions I'm looking at, I will listen to Koreans whether they agree or not. So.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would have an issue with forced draft here. But that's in my own country and, like, it wouldn't necessarily affect me, but it might affect the people that I love and care about. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't feel like it's my place because, they have their own cultural, political stance in their own country. And if they really have an issue with it, their politicians need to speak on behalf of them and change things. So,
and just to add to that, we were kind of talking about this earlier. We're kind of the reason why they have to do that mandatory 2 years.
That's
so
why I'm like, if you're especially in America, like, because like correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't know. Aren't they still technically in a Cold War with North Korea?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So there's so much that goes into why this is still happening that I think people, especially if you don't look at Korea outside of the K-pop, they're considering. So that's why I mean, like, for the judgment side, I don't. It's just a slippery slope. I just want them to be okay. That's all I care about. I just care about their well-being.
Yeah.
As a fan. And that's all I really should care about.
I think, I might regret saying this, but I think that a lot of international fans especially put BTS on such a high pedestal, like, and kind of forget that they are just people and citizens of their country. And you can't, just because, like, you are super popular doesn't mean you can break the law, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I've seen instances of like celebrities over there in the past that thought that,
Yeah.
and it didn't go
I don't
well
know.
for them.
I just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just people. And yes, they have international fame more than any K-pop group has ever had, but they're still just a singer and a celebrity. And like, that doesn't mean that they, you know, are exempt from other, like, just because a random guy in the street didn't ascend to their famehood means he's any less than them. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like they put BTS on this weird pedestal that they don't do anything wrong and that they're not human, you know, and they don't have to abide by their country's laws and rules just like everybody else does. So
That's actually well said.
I slightly said that in the Stray Kids episode. I mean, I was mostly talking about something else, but it's the weird thing for me. Not only higher pedestal, but like babying them, which is weird. Like they're not grown people, and it's not even just them. I noticed that with a lot of, I don't even know if it's even just Korean celebrities or just like non-American celebrities, mostly Asian, like East Asian celebrities. I see that more. I don't know about like celebrities like in other places like Europe or like South Asia, stuff like that, but I see it a lot with East Asians, and it never really made sense to me because they treat them like that as a people also, which I find very weird.
I've also never really understand how fans can get so, like, they get so invested in these people that like
Maybe that is a whole other episode.
They feel like it's affecting them themselves, like this decision that they have to go through as people. It feels like they're affecting them, and it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, why? It does not affect your life in any way.
That is a whole other episode.
Sit down. I don't know. It's just crazy to me because I've never been like super invested in celebrities. Like this is by far the most invested I've been, but it's not like invested in their lives per se. It's just invested in their
like art,
their music, and their production, and their art, and like I don't care what they do behind closed doors. Like why would that have anything to do with me?
Honestly,
so
that's kind of how I feel like when anytime I see like some type of dating scandal. It's like, okay, this is their lives.
They are human.
Especially from a place I know for a fact when I look outside of like K-pop and K-drama, y'all really value relationships. So it's kind of weird to me. There's also something else I want to say, and I don't know if it's appropriate to say or not.
Cut it out later.
I'm going to say it, and then y'all can tell me if I should cut it out. Sometimes when I see dating scandals, I'm like, you know, what if they're not even dating? What if they're just sleeping together? What if they just fucking? That's none of our business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We talk about how so much these are like good looking people. They have to live up to a certain standard as far as appearance and like attitudes. You know, if they find that as released, that's none of my business. That is still a human trait, especially if they're grown. I'm talking about the grown ones here. Okay, don't twist my roads. Don't twist my words and think I'm talking about everyone because there's, again, a different time. But I'm talking about the grown idols.
I just think it's gone too far, and it's gone too far for a very long time, and nothing I say is going to change anything.
Exactly.
But like, how did we get to this point where it's so off the rails that people are like crying and like being mean to others because their favorite person in the world is going to the army? Like, we need to step back. Step back. What about the people in your actual life? So
another topic for another day. Well, yes.
This should be a happy episode. We're just ranting. We survived 2 years. The world still sucks, people.
Yeah. A lot has happened, okay? A lot has happened in entertainment and real life. We're all going through it. And now that I'm on TikTok, that's another thing I didn't think I'd join, guys. Look how a year changes. I finally broke down and joined TikTok.
Broke you.
It did break me. So, you know, sometimes I'm like, I see stuff like that, and then sometimes I see fun stuff. We're all just going through it.
I strictly go on TikTok to relax and have fun, and I spend much less. Well, yeah, but I mean, you can kind of direct.
Yes.
But it depends on what you're liking and what you're watching. But there's a reason that I've been spending a lot less time on the internet and more time just being outside with my dog because the internet's a scary place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It only seems like it's getting worse, to be honest.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? I could spend another hour on TikTok, or I could go play with my dog.
Mhm.
And my dog has nothing negative to say. So
But yeah, I think I'm kind of like that too. I'm at that point where like I just need to be off the internet a lot less, like Twitter and
mhm.
TikTok.
It just makes me upset. It's like I
Yeah.
spend a couple of minutes like looking at stuff, and I'm like, this is not what I was on here for. I was just, looking for updates or wanting to see what my favorite artist is up to, and all I'm seeing is like post after post after post of people being negative and hating on each other and
Yeah.
talking about why they're doing this and why they're doing that. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just go back outside.
Sometimes it's good though, because I'm more aware of what's going on in the world. Like I am praying for all the women in Iran and what's going on with them. I just
Yeah,
want
for
to say
sure.
that real quick. So it could be helpful. But sometimes even with that, like I sit there and I feel sort of helpless that I can't do more to help, you know?
Yeah, it's like,
So-
what can I do that would make the biggest impact without, like, I don't want to just, because if I just spend hours looking at this stuff online, I just get sad. And like, but is there a way to like proactively help the situation instead of just looking at these posts over and over and over again and like hating the world even more? Because that's not productive either. So
Yeah. Which is one to learn, especially with all the incidents that's been happening. And it's like, as much as I have to, especially being a Black person in this world, be more cautious of like basically everything. Like, I can't let that dictate how my life is going. I use it to be as safe as possible, but I can't let that ruin the little happiness that I can get. So I also am trying to learn how to navigate through that. Because, like, I feel like I'm a broken record right now, and I've told this in the fees. The whole world at this point is anti-Black. And when we talked about stuff like with Yumi cells, it doesn't matter where I point to, I cannot get away from it. So it's
Yeah.
like, I have to know my limit. That's with anything I consume at this point. It takes a lot more for change, a lot more people to willingly speak up and be like, hey, we have a problem. Let's actually try to fix it. So, yeah, just a lot going on. Just a lot going on. I was not trying to make the 2nd year anniversary like serious, guys. I'm so sorry.
it always seems to turn out
I
that
don't know
way.
where all this pent up, like, where this is coming from. Next question. If you could time travel, when and where would you want to go? And then
I
realize
remember this discussion.
none of us actually said where until a little bit later. And then the fees brought up an additional question. Would you rather go to the past or the future? My answer's still the same.
Man, I
cannot
don't
afford
remember.
to go to the past being Black. We are going to the future. Because even now, it's not like much has changed.
Yeah. I really don't
Okay.
remember what I said for that one.
I think I said something along the lines of like, I want to go to the future, but like past where I could potentially live like quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I want to see something new. I think that's pretty accurate still. So,
I don't know if I wrote down what you answered the fees, because I only wrote down you asked me and Brianna, was there anything that we wanted to change? We went to the past and we both said no. Again, nothing changed back then. Nothing's changed now. Nothing will change back then. You think two black women?
Mm-hmm.
No. We're already going through enough as it is.
Yeah.
No. Future. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better.
Yeah.
We will see. And Brianna did end up saying if she had no choice but to go to the past, she would go to the 90s. And then we talked about like the history of like Black television, how we feel like diversity and media is dying. And I still feel like that because people are going up in arms about a mermaid being Black. And now I saw a new thing where Teletubbies is coming back on Netflix, and there's a up in arms because the baby son was Asian and Black. And I'm like, if y'all don't show your racist ass now, come on now. Y'all are upset because the sons... Future. Again, future.
right.
But she
You
said
may have said
90s.
You may have sent this to me, but I feel like you may have. But that TikTok that there's this girl that is talking about how like why people are so upset about Ariel being Black. But like she's like, the part that bothers you is that like in our culture, there's no reason that she needs to be white. Where like Mulan, she has a specific culture. She needs to be Asian, or like
honestly, really just Mulan.
But she
And Jasmine.
mentioned another one. Yeah, Jasmine. Like in those movies, there's a specific culture being referenced, but like white culture doesn't really have anything specific. So like it bothers you because it's like she can totally be black because like it doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
Like the one princess they have, like Tiana, like it's set in New Orleans, but like as we're getting to now, and which is actually a point that I never thought about until like recently, she is an animal most of the time. Now, if you've noticed, especially back then, a lot of if the main character is black, most of the time they're either an animal or inanimate object. Tiana's one of them. She's a frog, and so is the prince most of the time. I can think of the new Pixar movie Soul. He is a soul like most of the time. He's not actually a person. So it's very rare for us to actually have a lead, especially in kids movie, if they're anything but white, to actually be like themselves.
Or like Brave is set in like Ireland. Like there's a minority there. So it's like it makes sense. But like with Ariel, they don't talk about where she's from. You know,
She's
so
from the
it
sea.
doesn't. Yeah, she can be anything she wants to be. So it's just like it's silly. It's like, okay, you're like we can't change like what she originally was, but like why does it matter?
And
like
even
it doesn't.
then, people brought up the point of like how the original Ariel is a lot darker than the Disney Ariel. So it's like,
yeah. So it's like it has no cultural reference. Like it doesn't matter. Where in like other movies, it could potentially matter depending on where it's set. But the Ariel, she's free game. So
I wonder if more people would have been more upset if they made her look more like a fish than like half human, half fish. Will we still be having these problems?
Do the fish on top instead.
Exactly. Do y'all care what race she is?
Yeah.
That's not even an American thing. I think I saw a lot of global stuff too about that. And it was like, seriously?
But I've also seen so many little kids that like are black that are so excited to see this.
Don't
like
have
I've been
that much
seeing
representation.
I've been seeing a lot of reactions of like parents showing their kids the trailer for it, and their eyes light up and they get so excited, and it's like, why would you take that away?
No.
Like what's the big deal?
You know why, and I'm not going to say it.
Well, I know why.
I know.
It's just can't just let people live and be excited about a princess that doesn't actually exist.
They can't. And I know me and Brianna got into the thing with like representation in just TV shows in general, not even just fantasy. Like I'm noticing more, especially now, how like it really is like it's really hard to find like good diversity that doesn't seem stereotypical or like they just put a person of
like
color
it's forced
in it
because people like are complaining.
Yes, and if they are, a lot of them, whether they're black or just a different person of color, they cast a lot of really light skinned, close to white people nowadays. So kind of like bearing that, which is sad.
Yeah.
Question
We need to
on a lighter note, I guess.
Yes, this one was the one where we started getting really deep at the end. So name a goal you want to accomplish before the end of your life. I think my answer's still the same no matter what.
So I'm pretty sure I said I wanted to fall in love.
You did.
And right now I'm in a moment of fuck your feelings. I don't want that. So
she said fuck love.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm in one of those moods currently where I do not want anything to do with a significant other.
Oh my God, Macy, I was not
I've been through that
expecting
phase
that from
too.
you.
Yeah.
So I have gone through this a couple of times where I like download a dating app, go on a date, hate my life, delete the app, and then move on.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I was literally, because I know they say it out of love, but like Precious and Tara, when we went to brunch, they're like, Simone, you need to get out there. You need a date. Like, we just wanted to make sure you're not cooped up and you're happy. And I'm like, yes, but I don't want to date anyone in my town. I'm terrified of online dating. I'm already awkward in person. I feel like I'd be awkward trying to do that first initial, like trying to get someone through text message and FaceTime. It's complicated. It's just complicated. And I'm not trying to wait for like Prince or Princess Charming or whatever. It's just like, And not even just like trying to figure myself out, which I feel like is important to know myself so I know what to accept and what not to accept from a partner. But it's just complicated right now. And I don't feel like I'm in a position to really love someone. I don't want to date someone just to get the experience of dating. I want to date someone because I do want that potential of like falling in love, which also can be scary. Because like the way I am with certain things, I'm like, I'm afraid of falling out of love. There's just so many factors.
I'm sure I'll want to do it eventually. But right now, in this next year, I've decided to just focus on myself more. So, like, but that's just like a year goal. So as far as like something that I want to do before I die, I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's like, I think focusing, like finally getting to a point where I'm like happy, really happy with myself and love myself and possibly like independently like wealthy, like as far as
just stable,
having the own business. I would really like to have my own business by the time I'm 30, let alone before I die.
Yeah.
So
that's a good goal.
Yeah.
I wish I was ambitious like that.
Yeah, I think that is what I'm going to focus on, and hopefully I will achieve that. But for right now, fuck love. So
this will be our last question, then we can just go ahead and wrap up. And I asked this like before we started to like do the closing, so I'm glad I listened to the end. I brought up, what would you do if you found out your favorite celebrity listened to this podcast?
Crawl in a hole.
Hey, y'all.
I'd be like, hey, that's cool. Check out some other cool podcasts.
I feel like that's the same exact thing we said last time.
Brianna said she'd cry. Nafis says she'd ask why. Macy says she'd bury a hole and hide, but then she'd later be like, well, did you like it? I mean, thank you.
Right.
Why?
Feedback, please.
And I said, because we're funny people.
Yeah.
Right? How did you get to this point? Like how far did you have to go in the internet to
How
find
did
us?
the algorithm work? How did the algorithm work? Right.
And Brianna's like, you stayed until the weird tangent part at the end. I'm like, y'all are. Thank you for having confidence in us.
Yeah.
Even though this episode's already gonna like tilt between like heavy and like lighthearted, first thing I wanted to bring up, because we still try to remain somewhat professional on this podcast, even though we really need to. I know we've gotten comfortable, not that comfortable, so I will bring up this concern in the form of a question. I just want to know, what do people gain from following celebrities around? Now, I know it's different here in America, because sometimes our celebrities be like calling paparazzi on themselves to like, they want that spotlight. They want people to like follow them and like, you know, recognize them and all that.
Of it.
Yes, but it's different, especially for celebrities who physically say always being around people make them uncomfortable. I'm mostly thinking about the recent events where, you know, of course, BTS members, and yes, I'm mostly going to be talking about BTS in this blimp before Wanna, so again, I'll put the timestamps when you can skip ahead. I think Tay, a couple months ago, went to Paris, and he got basically like bombarded at the airport to Paris and going home from Paris. And I made like videos that I didn't want to see. I'm surprised they were able to walk to where they needed to walk. So that's one thing. I know a lot of people, when Jungkook was in, I can't pronounce the city's name. Is it Qatar, where the World Cup is being held right now? FIFA?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, when he was there for his performance for The Dreamers, also being followed around, I'm pretty sure I saw people following him around at a mall. The rapper I follow, a Korean rapper named PH1, had to tweet out the nicest way he can. I know you guys are excited to see me, but please do not like come to my hotel. He had to switch hotel rooms because people found out which actual room he was staying in. Why? What do you guys get from this? I'm being serious. I don't understand.
No, I don't.
What is the end goal?
I have no idea. I guess just to see them in person one time, but like, if I think it would be mortifying to me that even by accident, one of the people that I look up to saw me and thought that I was absolutely insane and crossing the line. Like,
exactly, because they're gonna remember you for the wrong reason. They're not gonna remember you in like a good way. This is gonna be like a traumatic way.
Yeah. And like, if you, let's say you realize what you're doing is traumatizing, they're not gonna want to come to your city or come to like do more public things if they're like scared. So like you're having the opposite effect of what you would hope to have by like your favorite celebrity going out and doing more things to where you could go and see them. Because if like they're not wanting to travel to these places because they don't feel safe staying at hotels, like it's going to ruin it for them, and it's going to ruin it for you because they're not going to come back. So like, what are you doing?
I mean, and they'll probably come back just because, you know, money and company,
Sure,
but it just depends like if they decide to just go there, do their events and then go home, or like actually try to explore or like host events where they can beat you guys. That's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Unless again, money, but still not going to mean they're going to be comfortable. I just think we all need to put the fanfics and the Your Name stories down for a minute sometimes. And let's go enjoy the nice blue sky while we still can before global warming kills us all.
I just want to know what these people do, because I work a 9-to-5 and I can't be out there chasing like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? I know in Korea they say it's like usually a lot of people, like especially younger fans, they're are part of rich families, so they're able to do this.
I guess, but like my mom would kill me. Like, well, what are you doing at all hours of the day, following this random person around, like spending
this
money to get there,
you don't
and
even
just
know.
Like not? Don't you have schoolwork? Don't you have activities? Don't you have friends? Like, what's going on?
Well, sometimes their friends be with them, so it's not even about if they have friends. That's the sad part. This is not a group
activity that I endorse.
It shouldn't be, because trust me, I've seen plenty of like things where it's like a group of people doing this and they're like,
go to the movies, go to the mall, what are you doing? Watch it, like have a sleepover like normal kids.
Yeah, no, it's my god,
just such an invasion of privacy. Like I would never,
you wouldn't want anyone doing that to you. Why would you do that with someone else?
Exactly. Like it would never even cross my mind to like go and try to find a celebrity even in public, like by chance, let alone stalking someone to the like where they live and where they're staying. And like, what do you want? A picture? Like a hug? What do you think is going to happen by you being there?
They will fall in love with them.
That's not going to happen. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I'm letting you know, Macy. That's what a lot of them think, or I don't know, become BFFs with people they don't know off the camera. That can be like a completely personality you might even not even like.
Mm-hmm.
And I even say that about people I like. I don't know these people. I feel like I've said that a million times.
In fact, probably a lot of them are, because celebrities are just like us. And a lot of people are bad people.
But we make mistakes.
Yeah. So.
Yes. Along the same line, I didn't write it down, but I remembered. When are we also going to get better at like, I don't know how to word this. I just know like certain places I go as a Black person, and especially if people don't see Black people a lot, they will come up to me and start either saying or doing like stereotypical things they know of Black people through media. And I would really like that to stop. I'm just saying this because I don't remember where this is, but there is just a group of people chanting the BTS fan chant to a random Asian woman, and I don't even know if she was Korean. But that's what I mean, if y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Like, when we're gonna stop doing that?
I hate people so much.
And of course, yes, I laugh sometimes at like TikToks that be making these type of jokes, but sometimes it's kind of like, okay, I get it. It's funny, but at the same time, it's not funny. That situation wasn't funny. But it's like, when? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with humans? Why?
I don't know. Fundamentally, we're flawed.
Girl, that is an understatement. Anyway, continuing. I just wrote, I'm tired of seeing JYP. That's it. I think he's done with his promotions.
His artists right now are being held at gunpoint to do that stupid thing.
I sent you?
Yes.
Apparently that song is for like a promotional song for an airplane line to travel. But the reason I said that is because I saw someone post like of his story of like, I guess he reposted fans. I'm putting that in quotation marks of them doing the dance challenge. And he's like, oh, this is good, but there's a dance practice for a reason. If I was a regular ass person, I'd be like, okay, fuck you too. I didn't have to take the time out of my day to do your stupid dance challenge. I am not one of your idols. I am not a professional. You could have just kept scrolling, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
I don't care if this is a promotional for anything. They paid him too much money because they paid him at all. I don't understand why he needs to be a singer when he's not good at it.
Tell regular people there is a dance practice for a reason. Maybe you should go watch it.
That person is giving you views and plays by doing your dance challenge, no matter how badly they're doing it.
He just makes me so uncomfortable. And then like I saw him doing like Hype Boy on like Inkigayo or something like that, and it's like, sir, why are you still on these shows? I try not to judge, like be ageist when it comes to like idol work, because I know how that's a thing. Like how we've joked about it before, when they're like, they say you're 30, you're dead, but him, there's one thing between being an artist and an idol. He's way too old to be an idol, and he keeps trying, and I need him to stop. I'm sorry, this man just bothers me so much.
When we have Psy to compare it to, similar age range, fantastic artist. JYP's never been good. I don't care. It's not he's too old. He's just never been good. So I said it and I meant it. Age has nothing to do with it.
The shade. We are getting spicy. This is why we shouldn't record at night. We're getting spicy
I told tonight. You, I'm more honest when I'm tired.
Oh, God.
Honestly, I'm okay to come for JYP no matter what time of day it is. So, because I think he's not a very good person.
Listen,
he creeps me out. I don't like how he is with young female artists. I don't like
and that bothers me. That scares me a lot. Get away from these girls.
Because that happens in show business, and it's just like, I need you to step away and stop making them like dance with you.
And I saw one like, and Boa is like, I don't know much about Boa, but I know Boa's in her 30s, and I saw one where she did on her TikTok with JYP, and he kept getting so closer. I'm like, bro, back the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he makes me entirely uncomfortable. I don't like anything about him.
Listen, I've always had a gripe with that man, and I still remember the video of him dancing in 1990 with all his backup dancers in blackface. So, again, got my gripes with him.
Yeah.
And then the main thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the ONEUS game, the day that we are recording is December 2nd. First, I mostly just wanted to talk about how a year from today, I was in LA with Precious and Zarya seeing BTS live. The memories. I was in the stadium about this time just waiting for them. And then later on, we made Jin cry 1,000 times for his birthday and celebrated his birthday. Happy birthday, Jin, by the way, because this is going to come out after your birthday. But still. So yeah, but also not. Oh, and then when we all failed at doing the army wave, if you guys want to listen about my whole trip in LA, I actually recorded an episode with Brianna. Y'all can go listen to that. But anyway, today is also the day that Mr. Kim Namjoon, RM of BTS, released his solo album Indigo, and I have many feelings. Many feelings. A man is my bias for a reason. I will say, I feel like I said it before, he's really the only reason I really truly got into BTS. I listened to not all of his work, because I know there's some pre-debut stuff I haven't heard before, but I listened to a majority of his work before I finished listening to BTS as a whole work. So yeah, to say he's one of my favorite artists is an understatement. So yeah, I woke up this morning. It's just when I like really like something, it's hard for me to like explain how much I like it. I'm trying to make sure I form words and not just sounds. So you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I already warned Macy. I'm like, Macy, just make sure I say proper words and I don't just start like, I don't know, fangirling, screaming, crying, throwing up, all that good stuff.
Please don't.
I'm not going to. But yeah, I wasn't like sure what to expect from Indigo because I was like, I remember my initial, and this was before I listened, like I said, to all of BTS's like discography, the like transition from RM's first mixtape to Mono, and I was like listening to his first mixtape to prepare for Mono. So when Mono dropped and I listened to it, I was like, oh my god, this is like a whole 180. But I understood it because like he was going through stuff, BTS as a group was going through stuff, and he's a lot older, maturing. They were getting more popular. I understood it. And I had no idea what to expect from Indigo because I'm like, I have a feeling maybe it's going to lead more towards like Mono. He says this is like a project of like his late or his last 20s, and he's been working on it since 2019.
Oh.
And then in the back of my head, I was kind of like, you know, I'm low key kind of praying. It's kind of like RM, his first mixtape, but maybe just like more mature and like grown, but still like that shit talking as well as mixed with Mono, where I get that like deep reflection and like, you know, questioning my life, but then also like celebrating my life. And I did get that. I got both of those mixed into one. So I'm very happy. I watched the music video first, Wildflower, and I thought it was great. The woman who sings on there, I didn't write down her name. I wish I did because she did like amazing. I wanted to scream every time she like was singing because it was so good. And I was fine. And I'm like, this is beautiful. This is like, because, you know, I don't know if you know this. This is basically his last like project before he goes to the military. I'm sure all of them will be in the military at least by the end of next year, 2023, if they're planning to try to come back by 2025. And then I listened to like the album, and then for some reason, because that song, the music video that it's for, is like the second to last song. And when I heard it a second time, like just listening to it in my earpods, I started crying. And I'm like, Simone, what is wrong with you? Why are you crying? You didn't cry during the music video. You were fine after all these songs. And all of a sudden, when Wildflower hits, now you're literally sitting in your bed, just tears running down your face, reflecting your life. I don't know if I've said this, but I've had a pretty shitty year. But like, I also feel like this album helps people like me who are like struggling, but like silent struggling. Because I don't really talk about my struggles a lot. If y'all haven't noticed, it's just been really hard, especially at the age that I am at. 25, still living at home in my hometown, questioning everything I'm doing with the job I hate. You know, this album just came at a really good time. It was some cheerful songs, but still reflective. Basically everything I just said at the beginning. So I really appreciate it. I love this album. I appreciate Namjoon as an artist. And yeah, I just can't express my appreciation for him as much. Makes great music. Love all the features. Thanks for everyone that helped to put this project together. After I listened to it, I immediately bought it from Weverse, so I cannot wait till I get my physical. And yeah, I'm so rambling, but still, I just really like this. I really enjoyed this. Even if others didn't like it that much. I really enjoyed this. I've listened to this probably about 5 times. I would have listened to it more if I didn't have to finish listening to songs for another group we're about to do after this one. But yeah, Macy, you jump in anytime. Please stop me. I'm going to keep going. It's just...
I don't have quite as strong emotions as you do.
It's fine. I mean, it's fine. I'm just crazy. It's okay.
To fully, like, let this album sink in, I don't think. Because you screamed at me this morning to listen to it at some point today.
No, as soon as I finish the album, like, Macy, you need to listen to this before we start recording.
Yeah.
Go listen to this, even if you listen to it once.
So I listened to it once, like, on my lunch break, and then once on my way home from work. And I really like it. I totally get what you're saying about it being kind of a cross between his first mixtape and Mono. I definitely get that vibe. And I feel like he's done a lot of changing and growing into the artist that he's become. But he's always been so good at lyrical writing.
Yeah.
And
Just his
I
words.
want time to go and look at what he's saying completely, because you get snippets and bods from like the English that is in there, but I don't think I fully like wrapped my head around this whole album as a whole because I don't know all of the words. So vocally and lyrically and like musically, everything's good and sounds good to me. But I want to go deeper into like what he's saying because I feel like that's the only way to truly take this all in as a compass.
And I promise you, once you do, because I already have, it will still break you in a good way.
Like it didn't. Definitely, a couple of them brought out a little bit of emotion, but I think it hits much harder when I actually know what he's saying. So,
and I get that.
Yeah. First, like, I don't know if you want me to do this, but like first impressions. I have 5.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
So,
I know you asked me earlier too before you go, like, if I had any top 5.
Mhm.
Guys, don't ask me that right now. I'm
right?
trying to get this.
This is just like first impression. Like when I was just listening in my car and driving and like paying attention to driving, like I would stop and be like, oh, I really like this, So
y'all gonna have to give me 3 months until I can tell you one of my favorite songs. Cause I'll be like, oh wait, this song with Anderson .Paak was really good, but this one with Tablo was also amazing. But then this one was really good as well. Oh, I really like Lonely. No, you're gonna have to give me 3 months, guys. You're gonna have to give me 3 months.
I quite like Tablo. I was surprised at how many feature songs he's had. Like it was a lot. A lot of people helped him.
I'm pretty sure almost every song except for maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think there was 2 that didn't.
And someone pointed this out on Twitter. They really liked how instead of feature, he said with. So like the songs were like All Day with Tablo, like to make it more inclusive. I'm like, this is so sweet.
I didn't even notice that. That's cool though. So in order from 5 to 1, I put All Day, Yun. I don't know how you're supposed to say that. Yun. Yoon?
I think so. And apparently Yoon, because I watched his Tiny Desk performance, which y'all need to go watch. Yoon is a painter, a Korean painter that he really likes. And I guess his painting is in the picture, like his album picture. June is sitting on the floor and there's a painting behind him. That is the painting that is painted by Yoon. I don't know his full name. I'm sure he says it in the Tiny Desk performance, but I think you're saying it right.
Okay. Hectic.
Oh my god, I love that one.
Still Life.
I like that. I like Anderson .Paak. He's so funny.
Right.
I like that little moment where they're back and forth.
Yeah.
When they're talking. That was cute.
And I put Wildflower as my number 1. So I think we were on the same page with that one being really good.
I'm not saying that's my number 1 right now, but I'm just saying I enjoyed the music video and it made me cry. So out of all of them, you would think the other ones. But yeah, I also really like Lonely. I mentioned that earlier, but I liked Lonely. Closer was really good. I'm actually leaning to Closer, but again, I'm just going to say all of these are good. I can't choose. I'm having a meltdown. It's just so good. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, because every time I listen to a K-pop album, I think about both of us. And while I was listening, I did in my head say Closer and Lonely for you. You probably really like those, and Wildflower and Hectic. Also,
yes, and Change Part 2, which I feel like I've been screaming all day.
Yeah.
So, I also just really quick before we officially move on, wanted to shout. I just wanted to shout out the Tiny Desk band because I think they did a really good job. You need to go watch them when you have a chance, Macy.
Listen, I had to work today and you bombarded me with this drop and I'm like, okay, and I made it happen for you. I listened to it twice through.
And I appreciate that so much.
I had no time to watch anything.
You're fine. Oh, I mean, I haven't even really been keeping up with them in general. Like, there's just been too much content that I can't.
I've never been very good at that, but I try to listen to the main stuff.
Yeah. Well, I meant outside content also besides the music. Like, I have not been able to. I'm so behind on a lot of stuff. So, but what RM said. He said the person on the keyboard's name was Doc Skim, guitar was John Un, bass was Park Jason, and the drummer was JK Kim. So I thought they did a really good job. Also, I also thought there was a funny part. I don't know if anyone else who watched it caught this or not, but there is a part where like RM is like in between songs and he's talking and he says like, you know, next year because of their Korean age, which I thought the president was getting rid of, but I don't know because I don't live there. But anyway, he's technically going to be 30 in Korea next year. And the drummer kind of did like a clap, like a woo in the back. And I don't know if he realized the camera was on him because he kind of stopped and made that face. I just thought it was funny.
Well, you made it to 30. Congratulations.
Exactly. He was being supportive. He's like, yeah, 30s. I don't know if that's a good thing or not yet. I still got 5 more years.
Gosh.
But it's going to be here before you know it. Because next year we're going to be 26. It just keeps going.
I have just a month. A month.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Until I'm 26. I'm scared.
Don't be. Because nothing's going to happen drastically. I promise you.
I do, though, have to get my own health insurance. That sucks.
Oh, yeah. God, now we're officially going to be
I already
adult.
got it. It just doesn't start till January.
I know. But yes. And then also, I promise this is the very last thing. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with their content, but I saw clips of their latest Run BTS episodes. I need to watch it. Apparently, I found out through Yoongi or Suga that, you know how I've been obsessed with red pandas lately? They're becoming like my new favorite animals. I guess they called them lesser pandas over there. And just the way he was saying it was very adorable. If I could find a TikTok, I'll send it to you. But red pandas in Korea are called lesser pandas.
What?
I don't know. Because they're smaller than real pandas.
Yeah, they mean lesser mass, but it sounds like you're not as good as a panda. How dare you?
You're not good enough to be a panda.
You're lesser than a panda.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
No, but yeah, I thought that was cute.
Language is a funny thing, isn't it?
It sounds funny, like lesser panda. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. But yeah. Oh god.
You have the word for red. Why are we calling it lesser when you can just call it a red panda?
I don't make up the words. I don't make up the language. Okay? I'm just passing on information that I found.
Okay, that's funny. I like that. I'm gonna start calling him that now.
Lesser panda.
Raccoons are trash pandas, and red pandas are lesser pandas, and sloths are tree pedophiles. That's my.
Not tree pedophiles.
Yes. I didn't make that up, but it's funny to me.
It's fine. All right.
They have creepy little faces. They have little unibrows.
I've never heard
Look up a picture of a sloth and tell me.
But baby sloths are cute.
Baby sloths are cute. Those aren't you can't be a pedophile until you're an adult.
True.
So
okay, let's go ahead and move on.
Sorry, that was really random.
We're called
Told you.
I was thinking for a reason.
Delirious. But like I said, the names are sketchy for me. Their leader, I know him quite right off the bat, but I have to think about it sometimes.
Who's leader? Who was the leader? I don't think any of them was the leader.
What?
Girl! Oh my god. Who did you think was the leader?
Tell me their names. It's the one I can't pronounce. Does it start with an H?
They don't have a leader.
They don't have a leader?
No. That's why I'm like, who was the leader?
Give me a second. I need to look up their faces real quick.
They do not have a leader, Macy. Not every group has a leader.
Okay, whatever.
I'm just letting you know.
Am I thinking of the right group?
I don't know,
what's my problem? What's wrong with me today?
You worked. That's your problem.
Yeah. Huan Wong? Is he not the leader?
No, he is not Macy.
Is he like a center or something? Because I feel like I see his
He's just the center
face.
because he's like the main dancer.
Okay. I just assumed that he was a leader based off of that. I don't know. His face.
But like Jungkook from BTS is always in the middle and he's not the leader.
Simone, I know. I'm sorry. I have sinned. Jeez.
It's fine. That's what I was like. Okay.
It's just like he's always up front, and I feel like he talks a lot when I see them on things. And like he was like in the new kingdom.
He's also like the shortest, not to be like on short people, but that also might be why they put him in the middle a lot. But he also is a really good dancer.
Yeah,
but it could just be for balance.
Him
like
more, like
maybe
than anybody else, and I feel like he talks a lot when they're like doing group things. So I guess I just assumed because Namjoon always talks for his group, but maybe he just speaks better English than other people do.
I don't think I've ever seen him speak English before. And I think Lito's supposed to be the one that knows the most, from my understanding.
Okay, well, I just feel like I see him a lot. And sometimes he's talking and sometimes he's dancing, but I see him a lot. Fine. So I just assumed.
Okay.
My bad.
I'm not upset. I was just confused, but we got that covered with. It's all good. It's okay, Macy. I'm not around to pat you on the shoulder, but I'll virtually pat you on the shoulder. Home, but the actual title track is To Be or Not to Be, when the whole EP released.
I quite like this album.
It's good.
As I said earlier, this is the only one I own.
And this is more of your style, the dark, broody vampires. Were you a vampire girl? Were you Team Edward or Team Jacob growing up?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm Team not Twilight. Anything but Twilight.
I didn't care for Twilight either. I was just messing with you.
I never liked Vampire Diaries either.
Okay, I can't lie. I actually really enjoyed Vampire Diaries.
Okay. So for you, I put your number 5 as Airplane. Number 4, Dead or Alive. Number 3, Dizzy. I put number 2 is Come Back Home. And I put number 1 is To Be or Not to Be. And I'm slightly regretting not switching those on some level, but I could be wrong.
Why? You did really good.
Oh, I did really good? Okay.
Yes.
I almost switched that number 1 and 2 at the last minute, but I didn't.
Okay. So for yours, I have Airplane as number 5, 4 as Dizzy, 3 Dead or Alive, 2 To Be or Not to Be, and 1 I put Come Back Home for you. Why are you doing that? What happened? What happened? What?
You got them all in the right order.
Oh my God!
It happened. We jinxed it. We said it wasn't going to happen, and we did it.
Are you serious?
Yes. Airplane. Dizzy. Dead or Alive. To Be or Not to Be.
살거나 죽거나 그게 문제라면서 내 머리 위에 총구를 겨눠 짓밟고 떠나가니 뻔한 드라마의 사랑의 피해자는 결국 둘다 결국 끝엔 베놈을 흘리면 저 밑으로 가는
Come Back Home.
Please come back home 우리의 익숙한 길로 돌아와줘 come back home 이대로 남겨지기 싫어 Do you think about me
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mitchell speechless. What? Oh my God. did.
You automatically win.
How do you don't know that? Wow.
That's never happened.
So Macy, when are we gonna meet up for that celebration you were talking about earlier?
I don't know. Would we go to Stray Kids concert in March?
Okay. Damn. Y'all are gonna have to give me a minute. I was not expecting that. And that's the one where I just made the list. I just made it, and I made it opposite of me.
Are there only 5 songs on that album, or is
There's
there
only
more?
5 songs. No, I think there's only 5. Ladies and gentlemen.
History has been made.
And I promise you, this will never happen again. This will never happen again.
I didn't think it was going to happen in the first place, but
Oh, God.
welcome back to I Was Thinking. I'm Macy.
And I'm Simone.
How's everybody doing?
We're tired as hell again because we just spent so long with the One Us episode. This is back to back.
Yeah.
My throat hurts, and I'm still going to be doing the majority of talking.
Right. We
But,
complained in the last episode, if you listen to it, the whole time that we were going to pull a double feature tonight, and we've both. She was up early in the morning, and I worked today, so we're both tired, and we're just gonna get through it, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll still be enjoyable. I think we're kind of funny when we're tired, but it's getting to the point where we're too tired. So
We'll see. God, I'm such an old lady because it's only 9 o'clock right now. But also, it's the time. I hate the time change. America, as far as I know, is the only country that does this. And when are we going to stop? Why is it getting dark at 5:30? Why do you think all these people have seasonal depression? I live in a state where there are no seasons.
right,
I feel it.
I'm on the other side of the state from you, so it gets dark here at 4:30.
Oh, God, really?
The sun literally starts to set at like 4:20 to 4:30, and then it's dark by 4:45.
Wow. I
So.
did not know that.
Yeah.
I actually heard, I think a girl from TikTok say like she's somewhere in the Midwest and it gets dark at like 3
Yeah.
or like 2. What is the point of this? Who is this helping?
Because I'm like, you're all the way on the other side, but I'm like in the Panhandle, so that's like I don't know how many miles that way,
I
but
don't know either.
it's a lot. So
That's insane.
yep.
I thought we voted to get rid of this.
Right. It basically gets dark at the same time for us, but I'm an hour behind, so
That's true.
I lose an extra hour of daylight as well.
That's insane. Okay, anyway, hopefully this is the last time we do this, and I hope we're on the other
We sound
time.
like old people. We're complaining about going to bed too late and the weather and the time of day and the daylight. Like,
And my back also hurts from the way I've been sitting.
my back hurts so bad right now from sitting.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna stand up later and hear my knees crack. Like, it's ridiculous.
We shouldn't be acting like this. We are only 25. Most 25-year-olds are out clubbing and acting insane and like
If I
living their
tried to
best
dance
life.
right now, my knees would give out.
Oh no, that's like on any day. Like I've always had bad knees, but like I know sometimes when I do like if I'm doing a K-pop choreography and if they do like that quick drop thing, I'm like, I'm not
No.
getting down. I will not come back up. I'm not doing it.
I just do the arm motion. I'm not actually
I
physically
just do
putting
the arm
myself
motion.
down on the ground. I won't get back up. It'll be the end.
I am not any type of floor work. I'm not doing it.
Nope.
Like I know Hyolin's Dale choreography pretty well, but I don't do that floor work. I can't. I will not get back up.
Basically, like, moving plank. I can't. Yeah.
Unless you want to see me flopping around like a whale.
No, thank you.
So yes, they do have a leader, and it is Geo. So we will start with her. So her birth name was actually Park Ji-so, but she legally changed it to Park Ji-hyo before entering the competition show 16. Okay, so Geo was born in Guri, Gyeonggi-do. South Korea on February 1st, 1997. Another 97 liner. Let's go. I always have to do that when I find an ILR age. And she is an Aquarius. So each member apparently has their own representative color and representative emoji. So I know her representative color is apricot.
Okay.
And her representative emoji is a unicorn.
Fun.
So out of all the members, she trained the most for 10 years. And she became a JYP trainee when she was in the 3rd grade after she won 2nd place in a contest on Junior Neighbor for a child role.
3rd grade? How old are you in 3rd grade? Like 8?
Too young. Baby. I don't even think you're 8. Are you? No.
Kindergarten's like 5. So 6, 7.
Okay,
8.
yeah, so 8. 8 or 9 then. Damn. They like to get him young.
No.
I know.
Have a childhood.
A discussion for another day. Okay, so next we have the member Nayeon. And her real name is Im Nayeon. She was born September 22nd, 1995. Now, K-pop profiles have this wrong because they said she's a Virgo, but she is actually a Libra. I should know. My brother's birthday is September 24th, and he is a Libra. So she is a Libra. She is not a Virgo.
What's her birthday?
The 22nd. Doesn't it stop at like the 20th?
I have no idea. Did you actually look it up, or are you just going based on him?
It's usually the 20th of like an old month, and the 20th of the new month is usually when the star signs is, I think. But there's also another chart, so that's why it's like, if you're not counting the one with the snake, which is the 19th, I'm getting off topic, but the Ophiuchus
just
star
look up
sign.
her birthday real quick. What sign is November 22nd?
September.
Or September. So I'm sorry. September.
And I only know about the Ophiuchus star sign because of Fairy Tale. Yes, I learned that from an anime.
Anime is very informative.
What?
Is the profile right?
I've been lied to. All right, guys, never mind. I guess she is a Virgo. Doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever. Okay, never mind. Apparently she's a Virgo. And so September 23rd is starting of Libra season? All right, whatever. Maybe I should have looked this up before. It's fine. So, Nayeon is a Virgo. Never mind. I was wrong. So next we have Mina. Names. Miyoi Mina, and she does have an English name, and I will explain it. So her English name is Sharon. I knew. Don't laugh, Macy.
I can't help it. It's like, why are they picking? That's like a white woman in her 40s name. What do you mean?
I was trying not to say it. You said it, not me. But I agree. Okay. She was born March 24th, 1997. Another 97 liner. Let's go. She's an Aries. So she is Japanese, but she was actually born in America. So she was born in San Antonio, Texas. And her family moved to Japan when she was a toddler. But she actually recently gave up her American citizenship in 2019. Why? I don't know. Do I blame her? Not at all.
Yeah. Get
out while you can. I show so much country pride, don't I?
Yeah. Do better, America. Then we'll show pride.
Bitch. This country.
So, did her parents do that to her and name her Sharon? I didn't need to know.
I don't know. I can't answer that for you.
Explain.
I did explain. I explained why she had an English name.
Okay, well.
Because she was born here in the States. Even though Mina is not hard to pronounce.
No, not at all.
These dumb Americans can get over themselves and call her Mina, but she had an English name, Sharon, okay?
All right, Sharon.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Mangne, who is... Yeah, she's the youngest. I just want to make sure. The one I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but it's Zuyu. I think her name is pronounced Choyu, Zuyu. And yes, she has an English name. Her English name is Sally. You don't have gripes with Sally like you do with Sharon, Macy?
I have gripes with Sally because my work has been playing Christmas music since the start of November. And there's a song that plays over and over again called Sally Snowflake. And I don't understand why we need a Sally Snowflake when we have Frosty the Snowman. Like, who the fuck is Sally?
Wait, I've never heard of Sally Snowflake
I had never heard of it until I heard it a million times at work.
And you're going to keep hearing it until New Year's Day.
Exactly. I don't really care, but it's going to play in my head now, and I hate myself for remembering it.
Well, you hear it every day. I don't blame you. Sally Snowflake. That's interesting. I have never heard her. She must be new. I know Frosty the Snowman.
Right?
Anyway. But yes, before we actually jump into the show, I just have a quick question, Nafi, since this show is about, like the law. The law. Have you...
The law.
Yeah, I didn't know how else to say it. So have you ever done anything with like the court system? Like I'll say, have you been ever like summoned for jury duty yet or had to serve on a jury?
Oh, I haven't done any of that yet. Have you?
You never even been summoned?
No.
Girl, I've been summoned twice. The first time I didn't have to do it. I wasn't selected. I was, selected to hear about the case to see if they wanted to select me as a juror. But I didn't get selected for the actual trial. And I think that one was a domestic abuse case. And then the second time was a drug case, actually last year in 2021. And I did get selected, and I am going to play the race card because it was a Black person on trial. Not only was I the only Black juror selected, I was the only Black woman juror selected. Wow. So that was interesting. And that's probably why they chose me. But yeah, I had to be a part of that for 2 days. It was interesting. So yeah.
So how does that work? Like, I guess kind of briefly go through that. Like, were you there the whole day? Do they give you breaks? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah. So, I mean, first, I don't know how it works in other countries, but like in America, they send letters, and jury duty is mandatory basically, but you can't get out of it if like once you go there, or I think you have to call them and say reasons why you can't summit or you can't go, or you can push it back. But if you just don't show up at all, I know you can get in trouble. So I went there at the time they said, sit in a waiting room. And sometimes they don't even they might not even choose you to go into like the courtroom to hear about the case. So you have to wait. It can be a while, but I know both times I went, it didn't take that long, especially when I went last year. They were playing a lot of catch up because of COVID. So like the trial and the case that we were hearing about all happened in 2019. And yeah, you just literally go in the courtroom. You listen to the attorney. So you already know like the attorneys that are going to be involved in the case, like the defendant attorney. And then in this case, there's no plaintiff. The plaintiff was like the state of Florida itself. So it was the state attorney or someone representing the state attorney. I'm trying to remember because like all this happened a year ago. And sometimes I don't remember what I did yesterday.
Right.
So yeah, you listen to what the case is going to be about, and they'll ask the jurors questions because they don't want to pick jurors that may be biased in the case with their like ruling. So like they don't want anyone if they've been personally involved with like I said, this was a drug case. So if they have some type of way that will change their opinion on how they view the case, due to drugs. They don't want to pick you because they believe your opinion or your choosing of like guilty or not guilty will be biased in that way and things like that. And then they'll ask you questions to try to see if like maybe the defendant might think you might lean more towards the defendant case to have them rule as not guilty. So they'll choose you that way. Or like if the state attorney thinks they have a good chance picking a juror that like will rule in their favor, just things like that. So that whole process of selection usually takes about 4 hours. And then, like I said, trial itself took about 2 days. So the first day I was there all day, I think from like 9 to 5 or 6. And the second day didn't take as long. We were able to leave by noon.
Okay.
So we came to a conclusion pretty quickly.
Do they pay you?
Not a lot.
Okay, but you are still paid though.
Like $50.
Oh, for the whole thing?
Yes, it's not a lot. When I say it's not a lot, it's like it's not a lot.
Thank you for your time. Here's $50.
Pretty much, because I forget what they use as an excuse not to really like pay you. It's supposed to be like a civil duty or whatever crap they try to excuse. So yeah. You would make more just going to your regular job than serving as a juror. And I don't know how much people make that aren't like attorneys or judges, like regular people there make anyway. I know when Macy was there, she only made minimum wage, like when she used to work at a courthouse. So it's not a lot.
Okay. That's interesting.
But yeah, that's my small experience with what type of branch is all that deal with? I haven't been in school in a while, guys.
Do not ask me.
Jurisdictional? What is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Judicial?
Yes.
Judicial? No, now I can't even speak. Oh my gosh. Judicial.
Branch.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's different because we're in America. So this is the America judicial system. And what we're going to talk about is Korea. So of course, I don't know a lot, and by a lot, any of how their law system works, the way I organize this, guys, because I am going to be taking the lead as far as like the talking points and things of that nature. I try to mostly just focus on like Attorney Woo and her story. So I was able to actually find like an article where they interviewed the writer, and I thought it was interesting just so we can bring up a little bit about like the discussion of the show, good and bad. So like one of the questions they asked her was like the reasons for choosing the word strange. And her response was, I thought the word strange was very appropriate to describe Uyangwoo. There are unfamiliar, heterogeneous negative meanings, but she thought that strangeness leads to creativity and the power to make a better society. And then also one of the podcasts that I listened to, I can put their link in the description of this show. It's called the K-Pop Cast, and they actually did like a review of this show and another show that I tried to watch and I didn't finish. I don't know if I'm going to go back to watching it, but it's called Flower of Evil, because they also recently put that on Netflix. I was watching it on Hulu and then they took it off and then they put it on Netflix, but that doesn't matter anyway. So the guest that they had on there, his name was Sam, and he's from Southpaw / the Liberation MA podcast. And at first they started talking about, which I guess I didn't realize, but if it makes sense, how like it has changed in K-dramas to the way they talk about like certain subjects. Because at first, if you notice in a lot of older K-dramas, and I guess you could say that in anime as well, like they would basically use a lot of coding for main characters to like try to hint they may be like autistic or like queer or things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And basically with the title, he was talking about how with the word Isong, or the word for strange, how they're trying to change like that term from like a negative to a positive light. And he gave the example where I'm just saying what he said. In Korea, when Koreans talk about like being gay and like queerness in general, they'll call themselves Ibon, which I guess means like second class or like another class citizen. But like they changed that word from like a negative connotation to make it like a positive and empowering term, which I mean makes sense if you think about other communities, how they do that too. Like I know being black community, the N-word, we do that for ourselves, which is why it's a problem when someone else who isn't black says it. I know for here as well, like in the gay community, I don't know how much like the younger generation use it, but like the F word is another good example of that. And I don't know if any other like communities internationally have words like that as well, but those are just some examples. So
Okay.
I didn't know if you had anything to say about that, Nafis, or if you took problems with like the title at first, like I did.
I thought it was weird that they used strange, but like after hearing like what the writer said, it makes sense why they went with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as long as they're able to explain why they went with it, and obviously it didn't come from a negative standpoint, then I guess it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I said too, especially after listening to that episode and hearing his point and his example of other things like that as well. I'm like, okay, to me, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I didn't see it as harmful as I did it the first time, but you also just need to know the meaning to understand. So,
But in a way, though, I'm glad they did that because then it creates conversation or like it helps people think of the word in a different light. So I guess that was kind of their purpose too. So worked out.
yeah. And then just another question, which was like the biggest one that I saw, especially like online with the discourse about Uyungu, just the way she is and how she presents her like autism. So the question they asked was like, some say that Uyungu is loved because she's autistic, but her disability is less exposed, harmless, and cute. And I'll personally say, before I reveal like the writer's answer, I'm trying to figure out how to say this properly. Either way, I know people will disagree, but it's like, it's a drama and it's a TV show. Their main focus out of no matter what they try to bring a light, like real life problems, is to entertain. So that is their number one thing to do as a TV show. I don't think, and I'm saying this as someone who is not part of this community, so this is just my point of view and I don't want to speak for the community themselves. I don't think they told any of the stories in a too harsh way. Like they're trying to bring awareness to it, and I don't think they did it in like any type of mocking ways, but they were able to do it still to bring up discussion even if people disagree, because I feel like no matter what, even people in like the autism spectrum community, they all have such different views and backgrounds and way they were brought up and the way their autism works and how they function in society. Like no one person is the same, and that's the same as like non-autistic person. So each story is going to be different, whether you relate to Uyungu's story or not, because I know a lot of problems was like not only the way she presents of being like cute and harmless and almost childlike, but just like being like a overall genius. So, because there are some people who do have like harder time with their autism where like their mental capacity doesn't pass by a child. But then there's also people who they call them high functioning, where they could be like Uyungu, or they honestly could function in society better, and you would never know they're autistic unless they tell you themselves. So I just think I appreciate the show because it brings up discussion of how autism, of just bringing awareness of autism in general, and then having people in real life talk about like their experience with autism and how they function in society, whether they agree or disagree or feel like they can relate to Uyungu or not. So
I agree. No, especially with, I agree because like you said, it opens up a platform for people who are on the spectrum to talk about like their experiences. And I think like her character is one of the few ones that does represent autism in a much more positive light, so to speak. So
yeah,
it's good. It creates conversation and more awareness.
Because in a lot of shows, it's usually in a negative way, or like it shows them as like being unable to like be handled. It's usually like the stories are usually focused on like the caretakers instead of the actual autistic person itself. So just a lot of things on that side. I feel like I had more to say, but I can't remember though. My brain's all over the place right now, but yeah.
I mean, you can come back to it if you remember.
Yeah, that's true. I can. It's just important too, like people who are around autistic people as well, because even their views on autism, even though whether they have a child or like a sibling or someone close to them who has autism, their story is still different than like the autistic person themselves. So, but when the writer was asked this question, and I didn't write the whole thing because it was a couple paragraphs, but I at least wrote down the first one. But she said, if anything can make our society a more livable or better place, I think it will not be our drama, but the opportunity the drama sparked for all this discussion. As members of society, we are trying to listen to these discussions as humbly and seriously as possible. Yes, like any drama protagonist, Uyong-woo was created for the drama by the production team. But if you say that it's impossible for this character to actually have ASD, that's not true. Somewhere in this world, I'm sure that an autistic person like Uyong-woo can exist. There are concerns about the character's positive aspects being highlighted, but when we showed our advising professor the script, they said that they liked the story's approach is to focus on Young-woo's merit. They said that until now, fictional works have emphasized the darker or more difficult side of autism, so they support focusing on the interesting, attractive, and impressive aspects of autistic people. I took heart from that and proceeded. I think some may feel uncomfortable. Rather than defending myself, I would like to say that I understand and sympathize with that, and that there are inevitable limits to my work. And then she goes on to say more, but I just took down that first part because, yeah. And I'll link the whole like interview at the bottom as well, because I think it's a very good and interesting read. So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I know, like I said, that was one of the big discussions about this show from the beginning. So,
Okay.
but still, the show did its job, which I think the writer really wanted, is just starts discussions.
Yeah, just
So as
try
long
to
as it
spark
be-
a discussion.
Yeah.
Get people
so as long
thinking.
as discussions can be started, hopefully in positive terms, then I think they
Yeah.
did a good job.
I think for the most part, it has been in positive terms.
And not everyone's gonna like everything. That's just
Yeah.
human nature. We're all not gonna like everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. We'll say what the movie is. It's called Falling for Christmas. That just came out on Netflix, starring Lindsay Lohan. First of all, I just wanted to do a holiday movie because I feel like have we done a holiday movie at all before?
No, we've done Halloween movies, but that wasn't working out, so we decided to do
That doesn't count because
holiday movie.
it was never posted because
Yeah.
of audio technical difficulties. That's the only episode I was never able to actually post. And then this year, it was just too close. We were never able to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully next year we'll actually be able to do a Halloween one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I picked this because I feel like I've said this before. I'm not really a rom-com person, first of all. So it was a little difficult, like, oh, what movie we should do? And then Nafis was like, well, let's pick a classic. I'm like, first of all, I don't know anything about any classics. Classical.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Well, see, you didn't give examples, so that's why I was like, what classics?
And that's the only one I can really think of at the moment. Oh, what's that other one with the big tall dude as the elf? Is it just Elf?
It is Elf. Listen,
Oh.
it's just because I'm not that big of a fan of Will Ferrell. I don't think he's
Oh.
that funny, and I never did. I watched Elf as a kid, and I did find it funny, and then I rewatched it as I was getting older, and I was like, why did I think this was funny? I have my gripe with Will Ferrell. It don't matter. But yeah.
But there was another one too where the father is like Santa Claus, but his family doesn't know. That one was a classic one too.
Isn't it just called Santa Claus?
Forgot the name.
Isn't it just called Santa
Is it?
Claus? With Tim Allen?
I think so.
I like how now we're starting to record, we're thinking of all these classical Christmas movies.
Right? I was just like, a classic movie. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
classical to us. I didn't know how old classical you wanted to go.
Well, I mean, like our childhood classic. Like anything past that, I probably wouldn't even know.
Okay, well, anyway, that maybe next year. But for this
Maybe
year,
next year.
we're doing something updated and modern, and that just came out. So
Yes.
I just picked this one because I did hear Lindsay Lohan was like making, I guess this is considered her like little comeback movie.
Mhm.
You know, I like Lindsay Lohan. If you grew up in like the early 2000s, she was one of those child stars and teenage stars. Not to get like a little dark, but I feel like she was also one of those stars, like as she got older, she was just deemed as like crazy. And I always
Yeah.
felt bad because I'm like, well, now that we're in a new age, we're like, oh, so the people that we deemed, especially child stars, like crazy, we're just like, you know, finding ways to deal with trauma of like being in Hollywood and all the dark stuff in Hollywood that we don't even know about, that I won't get into because that's not what this is about. But I was just like, you know, I want to support. I feel like she deserves this chance. I never really had a problem with Lindsay Lohan, and then watch someone come and tell me she did something problematic. But then again, everyone these days, it don't matter. Anyway, yeah, that was really just
Yeah,
my reason.
I
so.
saw her. I actually saw the trailer for it like earlier in the month, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. But like, there's one thing that kind of bothers me about it, but I'll tell you about it later. It's very minimal, but I guess once
Nitpicky.
you see it, you see it. Yeah, I'll just say right now, I just wish they did her makeup better. Like, that's it.
You know what? I agree with that.
Like, I just wish they had done her makeup a little bit better. But everything else about the movie was kind of cute. But yeah, so when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, look, this is very interesting. But it's like, you know, it's going to be a typical, you know, Christmas movie trope. So I wasn't too surprised when I actually did watch it. So
Yeah. So that's pretty much the only reason. Just justice for childhood stars, you know? Because like with the whole
right.
Selena Gomez documentary coming out, which I didn't finish watching, but then like Jeanette McCurdy's book, like
Mhm.
I know people will like get in their arguments talking about like, oh, they're like rich and famous and they chose this. I kind of see that slightly different when it comes to children. I don't really feel like,
They choose it sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because they'll say they want it, but then like, this is still a job. I think people forget, and that's a lot to put on a child who's like is not fully developed and like their
Yeah.
own thinking and like choice making, and they're just following what authorities are telling them to do. Yeah, again, this is supposed to be a happy, fun episode, so we're not going to get too much into that. But and I feel like I've talked about this for a while because a lot of things have just been coming out. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah.
But yeah.
Christmas movies. This is why I don't watch a lot of Christmas movies. Especially if you like.
Oh, really? Because of that reason?
No, I'm just talking about because of cheesy. I wasn't talking about the childhood thing. I've moved on.
Oh.
No, it's just because
okay.
they're cheesy and like I don't do cheesy that much. Like sometimes they're cute, and I'm trying to get more into, you know, just watch things. Don't think too critically of them. Just enjoy it. But sometimes
Yeah.
I have to laugh at stuff when I know I'm not supposed to be laughing.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's jump right into it.
I'm just curious also, like, and maybe that has to be more research on my end, like how they decide where they want to distribute these type of movies, like what made them choose Netflix and not like Hallmark, because I can honestly see this on like
As a
the
Hallmark movie?
yeah, on the
Yeah.
Hallmark channel, because let me tell you, if anyone has like a grandparent like my grandma, when November 1st hits, that channel does not change from November 1st until December 31st. That TV stays on the Hallmark channel.
Yeah. I mean, that's their season, right?
That
So-
is their season. That's where they make most of the money.
Yeah.
Okay. Which that one girl or lady from Full House really like messed up the bag because she wants to be homophobic. But again,
Wait, what? Well, that's a different conversation.
that's a different conversation for another day. If you know, you know.
But I feel like I always know about these different transgressions through you.
Yeah, that's just because I'm online too much and I really need to stop.
Mm.
Number 2 is Stray Kids, and number 1 is BTS. So even though I have a lot of my top songs right now are Stray Kids, I still listen to a shit ton of BTS. So
And of course, like Macy, what's my number one, everyone? BTS!
say it with us. We have a problem.
We are almost 5 years into this and we're still going strong.
Mhm.
Which
We were
is
talking
so
about this before we started recording, but like the amount of minutes is like triple.
ridiculous.
what everyone else, like all my other minutes are for every other artist.
It's literally 3 times Beyonce's, which she's my second, and it's like 3 times that.
Yeah.
It just always shocks me because, like I said, I feel like I've said this before, but I usually will get into stuff, but then like I would calm down or like lose interest. Maybe the longest would be a year or 2. The fact that I'm still like obsessed with them as I am when I first got into them, I still calmed down, but you know, it's almost been 5 years. It's just insane to me, knowing the type of personality I have. I don't want, it's not, because it's fiction, but like a lot of fans from what I listen to that are fans of Girls' Generation and know her speculate it's like a little bit of a snippet of like her time being there, because it's about like a Korean American who like gets picked up to be in a K-pop group. And if you've read the book, some people are trying to figure out which characters represent like which like members of Girls' Generation, because I guess there's some like tiny sneak peek drama of like things that happen, some Mean Girl stuff, all that. Maybe some romance with another group, like one of the boy groups, all that stuff. That's really the only drama I was talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any info on that.
Which is not like it. I'm sure this happens like a lot more than we think in these groups.
Yeah.
But no one ever wants to talk about it. It's fine.
Sure. They're all, people don't get along sometimes, like you can be a bad person and be in these groups, and like I think you've said this in the past, it's a bunch of young, very pretty people. Like I'm sure they're dating. Like you're silly if you think they're not.
Exactly. And like at the end of the day, this is like your job. So a lot of them treat each other like coworkers. It's very rare that you're going to like everyone in the group. Not saying there aren't groups that really form bonds and are like families, but that's not for every group.
Exactly.
Or like I know from SM, just real quick, because they're also from SM. I think I saw a clip, or maybe when I was watching Youngji's YouTube video, she had Key from SHINee on there, and he was actually pretty open about it and expressed like at the end of the day, like when companies are like, oh, we're all a family here, it's bullcrap. Like I'm here to do a job, we're all co-workers, y'all aren't my family, which I don't blame him.
One of them. And she is a lead vocalist and a rapper. She was born May 15th, 1989, making her a Taurus.
A fellow Taurus! Yeah, our birthdays were a day after mine. Even though she's a lot older than me, but... Yay!
Yeah. 5 of them were born in 89. So they're all very close in age. So her uncle is Lee So-man, who is SM's entertainment. He's the president.
Wait, the Lee Soo-man?
Yeah.
Is her
uncle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Macy, you mean the creator of SM basically is her uncle?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay.
So she
I wonder how that family dynamic works.
Right. She joined Starlight Entertainment, which from what I understand is an SM academy for like trainees. And she trained there for 5 years. And she was supposed to debut in a group called Sugar, but they never ended up debuting. Like they were planned, but they didn't debut. So she switched to, she became a proper trainee at SM and joined SNSD in 2007. So she was only like a trainee for, I think I saw like 5 months after that. So she trained for 5 years trying to be this group. And then they were like, no, we're just going to put you in Girls' Generation. So. And then...
I can't get over the fact that Lee Soo-man is her uncle. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, like, here in America recently, a huge, like, news article just released something about, like, nepotism babies. So that kind of makes, you know, I wonder how that works in Korean, like the Korean entertainment. It's interesting. This just makes me think. It has nothing to do with this, but I'm just curious now.
Hopefully you'll be able to help me with this. So once I get there, I'll let you know.
Okay.
So for your number 5, I put the 7989. For number 4, I put Ooh La La. Number 3, I put Girls' Generation. Number 2, I put Into the New World. And then number 1, I put the Korean song, the only one on the list that's in kanji, and I don't know how to say it. So
You mean Hangul? You mean Hangul?
Did I say kanji?
You did!
That's Japanese. I'm sorry. Yes, the Hangul. I don't know how to say it.
You know what? I'm gonna just put both as the title track.
Also,
It's fine.
if you happen to like, I kind of like looked up some of these songs because I was so kind of freaked out by the fact that I knew all of them from like childhood. If you've heard Run Devil Run and you don't think it's them, you could have also heard the leaked version that Kesha did. Because Run Devil Run was written by third party. I didn't write his name down or their names down. They commissioned Kesha to do a demo of it in 2008, which was leaked in 2009, but the song was later sold to Girls' Generation, who actually own it and produced it and did it. But if you've ever heard the song and you think, well, I've heard that, like the chorus, but I don't think it's them, it's not in Korean, you probably heard the leaked version of Kesha's demo. So, just random.
Interesting.
Because I was like, why the heck do I know this song? So I remember theirs as well, but I went and listened to the Kesha one. I'm like, oh, I've definitely heard this as well. So.
Okay, I didn't know that. So that's some good facts to know.
Mm-hmm.
They do that a lot too, so that doesn't sound surprising to me. But interesting.
Yeah. I don't have the writers of the song written down, but just they were deciding who they wanted to sing it, and they were initially thinking Kesha, and then they went with Girls' Generation. And I believe it was originally written in Korean, translated to English for Kesha, and then they decided they just liked the Korean version better and went with Girls' Generation.
Could you imagine if Kesha did end up singing this song? Like if it was released under Kesha, knowing the type of music she was making back then?
Yeah.
That would have been... It's always the what ifs. Like how I said in the 21 episode, what if that version of... Holy crap, why am I forgetting the song? Wow, why am I forgetting the song? The very popular one in 2011. The one that was supposed to feature Justin Bieber on it. Nega chi chalaka. Why am I only remember the Korean? What? This is gonna bother me.
I don't know.
I am the best. Wow.
Oh,
why
geez.
couldn't I think of that? Anyway. So for your number 5, I